You think you can hunt us? How cute. Cold steel under moonlight, fangs cut the snow. We run as the pack where the brave never go.
Well, I'm early, so.
Come with your ego, your guns and your lies, but the wild sees through you. Tonight someone dies. Eyes glowing brighter, we circle your fate. One stupid move and it's already too late. Don't mess with the walls. Havoc is coming, ripping through your soul. Claws of the savage, jaws breaking control. Howl through the static, the wild takes it all. Havoc is coming. Don't mess with the wolves. You play at the predator, king of the hunt, but we are the nightmare your nightmares confront. Alpha blood rising, the engine ignites. Your fragile humanity ends here tonight. No mercy for hunters who challenge the pack. We feast on the arrogant, we never look back. Don't mess with the wolves. Havoc is coming, ripping through your soul. Claws of the savage, jaws breaking control. Howl through the static, the wild takes it all. Havoc is coming. Don't mess with the wolves. Run, little hunter. The machine of the pack has you locked in its teeth. Bones crush like metal, untied, decade wounds. Don't mess with the wolves. Havoc is coming, devouring your soul. We are the storming mechanical foe. Scream all you want. The wild conquers all. Havoc is coming. Don't you fucking mess with the wolves. We warned you.
It's okay. Everybody loves someone's opinion nobody asked for. All right. But, opinions are like assholes. Most of them stink. Unless it's your own. What can I say? Oh, all right. I'm not going to get into this. My day has been shit already, and I am not going into it. Yeah, I'm a little bit near the fires. We were, me and my brother working on my truck, doing a tune-up, putting in new plugs, doing an oil change, kind of just doing the whole inspection because, well, neither of us trust dealerships, and just kind of doing the whole thing. So while looking around, we're like, all right, well, where are we going to go camping at? We started looking around for different places. And, well, everything is goddamn on fire. So instead of going out and, possibly getting stuck, and, being burnt alive or something like that, we decided that we're just going to hold off. And that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I should be in the woods right now. But instead, because all the fires popping off, I'm kind of worried about the fires coming towards my house and burning down my house, right? No, the entire Northwest is on fire. Just spread out. There's a lot of fires. Whole lot of them. The biggest ones are up here right now, though, in Washington. This one is 97,000 acres have burned. This one is 138,000 acres. 58,000. That one's a small one. It's only 3,000 acres, 5,000 acres. Yeah, it's spreading like wildfire. That's right. And there's a lot of people who have lost their homes. Like, this is Spokane, Washington. This isn't just like out in the woods. This is people's homes being burnt up. That's only 92 acres. 5,000 acres. 4,000. Again, a lot of them. Yeah, they're not losing just the bushes. Afternoon, Cannabiscuit. They're losing their entire homes. This one right here, I forgot what the hell this is. Roe Creek Complex. I don't know what the hell it is. Apparently it's on fire. Or maybe it's just telling where the complex is. Maybe it's on fire. You can see here, if you don't use this website, this is where all the data centers are going, right? Where the smart cities are built around them. Well, and that's not impossible to find giant fires as they rip and roar through the Pacific Northwest. Same thing happened in California, right? And you can see right now, like, gives you an idea. Everything is on fire. Except for Iowa and Nebraska, and Kansas, nothing ever happens in. But everywhere else is on fire, especially in the Northwest. A lot of fires, very much out of control. Yeah, he needs to grow his lab-raised beef. It's not really. Not really raised, but more like grown. We even make it pulsate. Oh, that's great. That sounds fantastic. Does it taste like real meat? Nope. No one who's tried that meat has said it tastes good. It's always the same thing. This meat is great. It's very good for nature. Hey, we don't have to worry about killing animals. How does it taste? It's good for nature. Oh, okay. So it tastes like shit. All right, thanks. Good to know. I'm happy it tastes like ass. I'm not going to try it. I don't need some weird ass RMA shit inside of it that when you eat it, it's giving you your antibiotics. That's what's going to be. That's going to be what's going to happen. It's not going to be something, it's just, meat and you're going to eat it and be like, all right, well, this is raised. No, they're going to try to hide some shit into it. It's going to give you all your vitamins and minerals of the day and all your vaccines by eating it. That's what's going to happen. And that might sound crazy, but it's not, because they honestly already went and talked about doing that. So why is this crazy? It's not. It's literally one of the things they're going to do. Oh yeah, you got your farm raised beef? Yeah. Well, so it's not just burgers they're doing. I guess they're trying to do chicken and pork and lamb. What was the other one they're trying to do? A couple different types of fish. Oh, and whenever Flavor gets in here, I got to bring it up to him. So my brother's driving over here to see me. Yeah, come hang out. He's like, man, I saw this beautiful buck that's here. It was huge, the biggest buck ever seen. And I asked him, you sure it wasn't an elk? And he's like, I don't know. Show me a picture each. He's like, oh, it was an elk. So apparently, like 4 or 5 doors down, just an elk chilling, walking around, doing elk shit. Well, so they're going to either 3D print the meat, right? Or they're going to try to lab grow it. And so they grow it, like on a wall, and the wall's got proteins and stuff on it, and they just grow it and just cut it off and you eat it. And, the thing that I wonder is, if you're already going and growing it, couldn't you make it where you don't even have to cook it? I mean, like, if we're going to go stupid, we might as well go fully at it, right? Like, why even have to cook the meat now? It comes pre-cooked. Just eat it. Yeah, like if you're on like a spaceship, right? And you're saying, hey, look, I don't really want to bring like 2 million pounds of beef on here or grow cattle while I'm jaunting through space. Then yes, I agree. I think it sounds absolutely feasible, right? I'm only going to pass as long as real beef's an option. You mean until the point where they say, hey, you're not allowed not to eat the fake beef? That's all there is? It's the year 2050. In the year oh, look, it just updated with more fires. In the year 2050, all meat has been banned. And you play as a farmer, secretly growing beef. I'd play that game. I'm not gonna lie. I play shit out of that. Oh, now it's at 23,000. Oh, nice. That is a lot of room, because you don't need to just sustain the cattle. You also need to have the medication on board, the disposal ability for it, the ground, or some way of making them food for something for them to eat, right? I don't believe that is true. Let's go see, what is bio meat? I don't believe it's from women's tumors. That seems weird, because that's not an animal. Like that's the wrong DNA structure. You need an animal. You need some sort of not human. That's how you get prions disease. Oh, so this is a real animal meat product based by growing animal cells outside of an animal's body without raising or slaughtering the animal. No, it's just regular beef. It's literally just regular animal. I don't know where he got that idea from. It's not the tumor. No. Small, usually painless sample of cells, often muscle or stem cells, is taken from the animal via biopsy. The cells are placed in a nutrient-rich culture medium inside a bioreactor, similar to those used for brewing beer or making yogurt. Oh, excellent. The cells multiply and form muscle tissue and sometimes fat or connective tissues. This results tissues harvested and processed into a familiar product like burgers, nuggets, steaks, or ground beef. It is biologically animal meat, same cells, proteins, etc., rather than a plant-based substitute. Proponents highly potential benefits such as reduced land/water use, lower greenhouse, blah 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 blah. So you could do that, right? What's up, Fired Up? You could have the lab-grown beef on your spaceship traveling through space. You just keep cultures of it on, freezed. And then all you need is a little bit and you grow a whole thing. What's up, Fire Captain? How you doing, buddy? It's very smoky where I am. I feel the cancer creeping in. Or go to the butcher block and just scrape some of the proteins off into a sample container. But again, it's... I can understand if you're going to use it for our simulation here. We're talking about a spaceship. No, everything's on fire. I didn't get to go. My brother came up, hung out. We shot the ship for a minute. And then he went out to go see the city and kind of hang out. Because I'm trying to talk him into moving up here. And then he came over the next day. And then me and him spent all day working on the truck. I got a overland rack on the back of it. With the overland rack, I'm going to try to cover it with metal sheets to make a camper shell out of it, because now it's got a nice secure frame. So all I got to do is just cut the sheets, put them on there, fix them to the side, do a couple beads of welding, and then do a front and back, and I have a nicer camper shell than I'm going to be able to buy. So we were doing that, plus did new spark plugs. The truck seems to be idling kind of high, so we're not sure if it was the packs or if it was the spark plugs or what. So we replaced the plugs, and then we were going to do the boots, but didn't have any in stock. And then did a oil change and everything up, a little tune up. So at least that's going. Then we were like, all right, where are we going to go camping? Then we looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, everything's on fire. And it's more not everything's on fire, because I mean, look, there's a lot of places that aren't on fire, but the fire's close enough to my house. I'm kind of worried. And I wouldn't really want to leave Yuffie here by herself and then go, fuck off in the woods, and then the house burns down, right? Like, kind of not a good idea. So me and him were just like, yeah, we're just going to call it we're just going to wait on going. We'll just pick a different day to go out. It also gives me time to get some money for a hunting license. Because while I'm out there, and if I see a deer, I'm just going to tag it and take it. Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, we haven't really been talking about the fires because we got off the subject and started talking about biomeat. But, yeah, there's a guy who is driving around with a flamethrower, lighting people's garages on fire also. Literally, in a golf cart, driving around, lighting people's houses on fire. Like a dickhead. Yeah.
47-year-old Port Orchard man was quickly taken into custody by a Washington State Patrol.
I think shooting him is just. Like, I believe...
surveillance camera caught a man setting a garage on fire.
No, I was just trying to get the weeds.
Unincorporated Port Orchard on August 4th on a golf cart.
Hey, Kaltenberg.
Dog. Then, using a torch and spray canister filled
Kaltenberg's more close to the fires, I think, than I am.
Frame ablaze. Within minutes, the garage was fully involved while a resident was inside the home.
Yeah, it's pushing away from us.
The 47-year-old Port Orchard man was quickly taken into custody by a Washington State Patrol trooper after he was flagged down by a neighbor who witnessed the arson. The neighbor said the man claimed he was with the fire department and then waved a lit torch at him and tried to run him over with the golf cart when he was confronted. The homeowner, who was not hurt, said he...
You know what would have stopped him really quick is a 12 gauge to the head. When you canoed his brain out of his skull, I'm pretty sure he would not have tried to, one, wave a flamethrower, or two, try to run you over because he'd be dead. Look what, oh, I see. I see, Collenberg. I think I know what you're getting at. You know, it's really weird. The guy was trying to light my house on fire, and it was the damnedest thing. He accidentally lit himself on fire.
No idea who the
Don't know what
suspect was
happened.
or why he targeted the home. The fire caused an estimated $150,000 to $175,000 in damage to the structure and destroyed a car valued at about $25,000. The suspect was booked into the Kitsap County Jail on suspicion of first-degree arson and second-degree assault.
You're detained.
A home surveillance camera caught a man setting a garage on fire. Watch as he drives up to the home in unincorporated Port Orchard on...
So this other video I'm about to put on has nothing to do with the fires, I don't think.
So a man has been accused of cutting off his own genitals and using them to start a fire. And no, this is not AI or a fake story. I'm Jazz Williams. I'm going to tell you what we know. His name is Christopher Peden. And despite all his pain, he's still being charged with arson, which carries a potential prison sentence of about 12 years. Now, according to authorities, Fort Wayne, Indiana firefighters were dispatched to a garage fire at the same time that they got calls about a stabbing. And at the hospital, Peden allegedly told an officer that at about 2 a.m., he went into his garage with a kitchen knife to cut off his own genitals. Then he allegedly poured gas on it and then set it on fire and walked away until he found police. Now, if by chance you do want to learn more about this story, I'm Jazz Williams. You can find out more of the details when you download the WBRC News app.
Just FYI, I don't know if anybody doesn't know this yet. I don't think your balls and dick are good sources of fuel for a fire. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not a firefighter. I know we have someone in here who is, or maybe more than one. But I don't believe, again, your genitals in any sort of way are a good source of fuel. Again, could be wrong, could be mistaken. If some firefighter out there wants to fill me in and give me the nuts and bolts, if you will, of the story, that'd be great. I feel like you could really give me some info on here. I'm gonna Google this. Thank you. Please Google the genitals, if genitals are a good source of fuel for a fire. Again, I don't believe they are. Very much do not believe they are. Says no. All right, I think so. There you go. The story was a bit nutty. Well, this isn't the first time, even before everybody was talking about the trans thing. There was a guy who apparently didn't like the way you looked. Probably didn't go to the Men's Warehouse, but he was very unhappy with himself. So he decided to take a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun and blow off his own leg from the knee down. For reasons, I guess. He decided that he would rather live a life as a cripple, missing a leg, than anything else. He said it was the happiest thing he's ever done. He said, there was a lot going on in my life. He was depressed, and he just decided, here I go. We were asking if your nuts and penis were good as fuel for a fire, since a man apparently went and cut off his own dick and balls and tried to light them on fire for some reason. So we're asking if, any firefighters out there wanted to talk about that. If you died, I hope nobody sees my last Google search. Because he's on SSI now. Yeah, even then they still might not give it to you. I've learned that the disability is a rather bitch to be on. Well, as long as you're a straight white male, apparently. Then it's really hard. What's that? Multiple forms of stenosis in your back and you got holes in it. No disability for you. Woman out here who doesn't work and has slight anxiety. Well, we better give you $2,200 a month. We don't know. We don't know what might happen to you. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Again, still don't know what the hell would possess anyone to do that. I mean, yeah, the gas would be good, but once you're gone through the gas, you're then just working on the meaty bits, right? Like, so
of repairing the structure, but again, each policy, each person's situation can be a little bit different, so important to connect with your insurance company and get the details about what they can do for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Trent, to your team and to everyone else out here and at home trying to help in these recovery efforts. Again, the Disaster Assistance Center is going to be open until 6 p.m. Saturday, and then again from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Reporting from Shadow Park High School, I'm Melinda Lee for Nonstop Local.
Yeah, thank you, Melinda. And crews are still out there responding to calls in the areas affected by the fires. And officials warn residents about an increase in displaced and very frightened wildlife. With so much natural habitat gone or impacted, animals may be moving into neighborhoods and other unfamiliar areas while searching for safety. Officials say these animals are likely stressed, frightened, and exhausted.
I wish we could use, possession as a good excuse for people's stupidity. Fortunately, people are just sometimes stupid.
They ask people not to leave any food or water out. While it may seem helpful, feeding or watering wild animals can actually encourage them to stay in neighborhoods, creating a domino effect of additional safety concerns for them and also residents.
Because I have a 357 that's blessed by a priest and I blow someone's head off, say he was possessed by a demon. I don't think they're going to believe me.
Tested for bacteria and other potential contaminants and say that they haven't.
The brother was charged with arson too. Fire setting fire to the guy who cut his balls off in the car.
He recommends flushing out your water system before drinking the water. So run cold water through your faucets a while so that you can replace any.
You should run your hot and cold water, by the way.
City says the water may look cloudy, may have a weird taste or smell.
May have feces in it.
Will continue in the areas affected by the fires. Now, amidst this devastation, the Spokane community is coming together to help support the victims and crews. The Airway Heights Baptist Church has a wide variety of items for victims to come pick up, including toys, food, drinks, clothing, toiletries, and pet food. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is also hosting a resource center. This one runs every day, and it's open at 732 West Indiana. The church says it will be open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. until August 14th for clothing, household essentials, toys, snacks, and other necessities.
Let's see if Tio can find me some riots.
We will continue our coverage throughout the afternoon and the evening, especially on those red flag warnings and our critical fire weather.
I don't know who that is, America. I'm guessing it's some woman, but I don't know who that is. I mean, did you know the Mormons are the biggest preppers in the entire country? Followed by the Amish? Yeah, don't go pick up down power lines, even if you think they're discharged. Some of those caps somewhere can hold a whole lot of power. Oh, and maybe don't all turn your ACs on at the same time. It's another good one. There's probably a lot of other good ones out there too, but some people think that after your hot water tank sits and then you turn it on, it brings up something or does something. What? What? I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize that your hot water heater is made to keep a tank of water hot that you use. Doesn't make the water instantly hot. If you wanted the water instantly hot, there's a whole new device for that. Can anyone guess what the device for that's called?
Lane fire, what's just been kind of pushing on a path further into Stevens County area, burning near 9 Mile Falls and Suncrest too. Then we're still tracking the Fairview fire burning near Meade as well. I want to touch base with the different temperatures through all of these different areas. Right now, we're at about 3 p.m. and we've got things.
Well, I know you're supposed to flush your tank every couple of years because there is shit that gets in there
near the Spokane Airport out towards the West Plains. In terms of humidity, we are well into that danger zone. We want to see
what a good
dad. At 30% or higher. Right now, it's been falling further and further into that low 20s range for Spokane County. Wind gusts, on the other hand, quite calm compared to what we were seeing this time last weekend. As for what we're expecting in the coming hours here, we're still not through the hottest time of the day. We've got things set to climb into the 90s, low 90s for the city of Spokane. Dew point during this time remaining below.
You mean the suicide showers? Augie is what they call them?
To be. Dew point is another way that we measure that moisture. And then in terms of wind gusts, those right now in the teens and then falling into the single digits in the coming hours. I want to be clear though, National Weather Service
so a lot of European countries use them too.
Reaching into that mid 20 mile
the nickname for them is suicide showers.
We'll hope that Mother Nature is kind to us today. As we look at our future cast though, one thing for certain, dry weather expected as we wrap up your evening and then get into your Sunday.
I don't think it comes off the wall, Big Red. So she would have to, I guess, do a headstand.
Very, very smoky out there. With this, we do have an air quality watch in place for all of the areas shaded in this smoky gray color, including Spokane, including Colville Reservation, where the Kaiser Canyon fire burns.
And that is true. That's why it's just a water heater.
So you take a look at our air quality right now, you'll see widespread unhealthy air quality through Spokane County and reaching into central Washington too, through the LC Valley into that unhealthy for sensitive groups category. And this is going to continue to fluctuate.
You know, I could have put a hot, when I swapped out mine, I debated about doing a hot water, like an Insta hot, but I was like, I kind of like having the emergency water there if needed.
Starts to push into our neck of the woods, combining with the smoke that we are already dealing with. So our air quality could actually worsen overnight here. With this, we are in the unhealthy range today for Spokane. And as we get into tomorrow, Sunday, we are expecting that pattern to hold more unhealthy.
I'm trying to be safe.
Wrap up your weekend. So
it's 40. The fire's 45 minutes away from me right now, and that's a little too close.
Here, we'll be touching base with those conditions for our friends a little bit further west, including for the Kaiser Canyon fire, as well as for the Three Queens fire burning near Ellensburg. We haven't forgotten about those.
All right, thank you so much, Rosemary. Now let's check in on fire behavior and the fire fight out there. We've got these containment numbers. The Old Trails fire covers about 3,500 acres. The crews have 43% contained. Autumn Lane is our biggest fire, about 5,800 acres. Crews have a handle on about 50%. And in the Fairview fire, that's covering about 1,000 acres with 31% containment. At least 921 homes and buildings are damaged or destroyed, with 694 at the Old Trails Fire, 168 for Autumn Lane, 59 for Fairview. And as far as evacuations, we haven't seen a lot of changes since yesterday. These have not expanded, though. And Shadle Park High is open until 6 as a disaster relief center. Fire victims can get food, clothing, and get questions answered. Melinda Lee is with one of the companies helping our community recover.
Yes, and PIMCO Insurance is one of the many resources here right now at Shadle Park High School. While the school is
we got to see a lot of people.
Center this weekend from 9
there's a lot of people coming in right now evacuating
so I'm joined now by Trent
to where we're at
PIMCO
from the
Insurance.
surrounding area.
Trent,
It's really
I'd
sad
love
to see.
What are the questions you continue to receive from people seeking help after this disaster?
You bet. One of the big ones is, when can I go back to my home? Which obviously we're not the ones to make that decision. The county will need to let people know when it's safe. Safety is number one priority. We need to make sure people are taken care of and are safe. The second question is, what can my insurance do for me? What should I be thinking about? And so,
well, your insurance is first gonna try to lube up a finger and jam it up your ass. So be prepared for that to fight them.
Or if their home was, heaven forbid, burned to the ground. Those are questions that are great to talk with your insurance company specifically about, because each claim and each situation can be a little bit different. And there are, in most policies, coverages for living expenses, coverages to clean or replace personal property like clothes or other things that were damaged, and then obviously the cost of repairing the structure. But again, each policy, each person's situation can be a little bit different.
Good
so it's
afternoon.
important to connect with your insurance company and get the details about what they can do for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Trent, to your team and to everyone else out here and at home trying to help in these recovery efforts. Again, the Disaster Assistance Center is going to be open until 6 p.m. Saturday, and then again from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Reporting from Shadle Park High School, I'm Melinda Lee for Nonstop Local.
Yeah, thank you, Melinda. And crews are still out there responding to calls in the areas affected by the fires. And officials warn residents about an increase
Good afternoon to you.
in displaced and very frightened wildlife. With so much natural habitat gone or impacted, animals may be moving into neighborhoods and other unfamiliar areas.
It's probably why I freaking found an elk down here.
Animals are likely stressed, frightened, and exhausted. Residents are urged to give them plenty of space, especially moose, which can be very unpredictable and dangerous if they feel threatened or frightened. Also, they ask people not to leave any food or water out. While it may seem helpful, feeding or watering wild animals can actually encourage them to stay in neighborhoods, creating a domino effect of additional safety concerns for them and also residents. Well, Spokane says its water is still safe to drink in the wildfire areas. The city's water department has tested for bacteria and other potential contaminants and say that they haven't found any unsafe bacteria or chemicals. But if you've been evacuated more than a week, city recommends flushing out.
Yeah, totals the car, kills you, and the moose walks
run
away.
Cold water through your faucets a while so that you can replace any stagnant water that's been sitting there with fresh water. City says the water may look cloudy, may have a weird taste or smell. Officials say water testing will continue in the areas affected by the fires.
Well, don't forget about the dumbass streamers that go up there too and also get caught in the fires. So panic people, dumb streamers.
The Airway Heights Baptist Church has a wide variety of items for victims to come pick up, including toys, food, drinks, clothing, toiletries, and pet food. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is also hosting a resource
Nikki does
center.
not like them.
This one runs every
Or Nicholas
day,
does not like
and
them.
It's open at
Not Nikki.
732
Nicholas does not like
West
the Mormons.
Indiana. The church says it will be open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. until August 14th for clothing.
Hello, my name is
essentials,
Jackass
toys,
Medenza.
snacks, and other
We're going to drive
necessities.
into this
All
wildfire.
right, we will continue our coverage throughout the afternoon and the evening, especially on those red flag warnings and our critical fire weather. So stay with us.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yeah, you know, and there's a thing with the streamers. They're like, I told them not to come for me. I'm like, that's not the way it works. Like, there's There's no first responder that's going to be like, well, guys, he said let him die, so we should just go do that. Ice Poseidon was drifting in the mountains of Japan last night. What do you mean by drifting? Like with a car? So Ice Poseidon's going to be the next one that get picked up by some country and thrown in prison. I'm just waiting for it. Was he on like actual tracks doing it? Otherwise, that dude's going to prison. But there's, again, there's a lot of people out there who are, I don't know, not the brightest. And they don't realize, I do not. I'll have to go listen to that. I lost my train of thought. The hell I was just talking about. Come back to me in a second. Oh, stupid people. That's right. So if you're dumb and you decide you're going to go risk your own life,
before then, especially as
first responders will have to come after you.
Already continued to burn across.
Oh, he wasn't driving now.
Flag warning: any new fires will spread quickly, but it also makes the battle harder.
He was a passenger princess, so drifting.
Already face, including the Old Trails fire still burning right now along the Indian Trail neighborhood and into 5 Mile. We also have the Autumn Lane fire, which just been kind of pushing on a path further into Stevens County area, burning near 9 Mile Falls and Suncrest too. Then we're still tracking the Fairview fire burning near Meade as well. I want to touch base with the different temperatures through all of these different areas right now. We're at about 3 p.m. and we've got things sitting at 86 degrees through Meade as well as in 9 Mile area, 88 degrees there near the Spokane Airport out towards the West Plains. In terms of humidity, we are well into that danger zone. We want to see relative humidity at 30% or higher. Right now, it's been falling further and further into that low 20s range for Spokane County. Wind gusts, on the other hand, quite calm compared to what we were seeing this time last weekend. As for what we're expecting in the coming hours here, we're still not through the hottest time of the day. We've got things set to climb into the 90s, low 90s for the city of Spokane. Dew point during this time remaining below 40 degrees. So again, drier than we would like it to be. Dew point is another way that we measure that moisture. And then in terms of wind gusts, those right now in the teens and then falling into the single digits in the coming hours. I want to be clear though, National Weather Service says we could actually see those wind gusts reaching into that mid 20 mile per hour range in Spokane. So we'll hope that Mother Nature is kind to us today. So we look at our futurecast though, one thing for certain, dry weather expected as we wrap up your evening and then get into your Sunday morning. On top of all of this, you can see it, you can smell it. It is very, very smoky out there. With this, we do have an air quality watch in place for all of the areas shaded in this smoky gray color, including Spokane, including Colville Reservation, where the Kaiser Canyon fire burns tonight, and even into parts of Kittitas. So you take a look at our air quality right now, you'll see widespread unhealthy air quality through Spokane County and reaching into central Washington too, through the LC Valley into that unhealthy for sensitive groups category. And this is going to continue to fluctuate in the coming hours. So we look at what we're expecting from this smoke overnight. You'll notice it could actually worsen for Spokane County as smoke coming from the northwest starts to push into our neck of the woods, combining with the smoke that we are already dealing with. So our air quality could actually worsen overnight here. With this, we are in the unhealthy range today for Spokane. And as we get into tomorrow, Sunday, we are expecting that pattern to hold more unhealthy air quality as we wrap up your weekend. So that's your forecast for now, Heidi, but as we continue to check in through the evening here, we'll be touching base with those conditions for our friends a little bit further west, including for the Kaiser Canyon fire, as well as for the Three Queens fire burning near Ellensburg. We haven't forgotten about those.
All right, thank you so much, Rosemary. Now let's check in on fire behavior and the fire fight out there. We've got these containment numbers. The Old Trails fire covers about 3,500 acres. The crews have 43% contained. Autumn Lane is our biggest fire, about 5,800 acres. Crews have a handle on about 50%. And in the Fairview fire, that's covering about 1,000 acres with 31% containment. At least 921 homes and buildings are damaged or destroyed, with 694 at the Old Trails fire, 168 for Autumn Lane, 59 for Fairview. And as far as evacuations, we haven't seen a lot of changes since yesterday. These have not expanded, though. And Shadle Park High is open until 6 as a disaster relief center. Fire victims can get food, clothing, and get questions answered. Melinda Lee is with one of the companies helping our community recover.
Yes, and PIMCO Insurance is one of the many resources here right now at Shadle Park High School while the school is acting as a disaster assistance center this weekend from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. So I'm joined now by Trent Stoker with PIMCO Insurance. And Trent, I'd love to hear, what are the questions you continue to receive from people seeking help after this disaster?
You bet. One of the big ones is, when can I go back to my home? Which obviously we're not the ones to make that decision. The county will need to let people know when it's safe. Safety is number one priority. We need to make sure people are taken care of and are safe. The second question is, what can my insurance do for me? What should I be thinking about? And so when people are looking at the different expenses they could have, such as living expenses while they're away from their home, or the cleanup cost, or if their home was, heaven forbid, burned to the ground, those are questions that are great to talk with your insurance company specifically about, because each claim in each situation can be a little bit different, and there are, in most policies, coverages for living expenses, coverages to clean or replace personal property like clothes or other things that were damaged, and then obviously the cost of repairing the structure. But again, each policy, each person's situation can be a little bit different, so important to connect with your insurance company and get the details about what they can do for you.
Thank you so much, Trent, to your team and to everyone else out here and at home trying to help in these recovery efforts. Again, the Disaster Assistance Center is going to be open until 6 p.m. Saturday, and then again from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Reporting from Shadle Park High School, I'm Melinda Lee for Nonstop Local.
Yeah, thank you, Melinda. And crews are still out there responding to calls in the areas affected by the fires. And officials warn residents about an increase in displaced and very frightened wildlife. With so much natural habitat gone or impacted, animals may be moving into neighborhoods and other unfamiliar areas while searching for safety. Officials say these animals are likely stressed, frightened, and exhausted. Residents are urged to give them plenty of space, especially moose, which can be very unpredictable and dangerous if they feel threatened or frightened. Also, they ask people not to leave any food or water out. While it may seem helpful, feeding or watering wild animals can actually encourage them to stay in neighborhoods, creating a domino effect of additional safety concerns for them and also residents. Well, Spokane says its water is still safe to drink in the wildfire area.
Okay, there is more just repeating themselves.
Medford altimeter 2997, wind 3306.
I noticed a lot of you haven't hit that like button. Yeah, you should do that. That'd be spectacular.
Says on 724 Quebec Medford Tower, how do you hear?
He's going to be coming up the dozer line towards you as far as he can. So you might keep an ear out for him, and when he gets, you can go fill up your bladder bags.
I'm looking for more stuff local.
Yeah, they're running the skidding up now, so we'll see how we can get.
Man is en route.
Your home base. Copy that.
Fire watch coverage as our news team has been tracking 2 large fires burning in southern Oregon. Here's a look at a time lapse of both fires. The Wright's Spring Fire in Klamath County that sparked Wednesday, and the Wood Rat Mountain Fire here in Jackson
Good idea,
County that
Kaltenberg.
sparked around 3 p.m.
Be safe, buddy.
Thursday afternoon. Fire crews faced critical fire weather last night as both fires prompted evacuations yesterday. We're going to get into the latest on the Wright Springs fires and the latest Emergency Conflagration Act in just a bit. But first, near Rush. The Wood Rat Mountain Fire is now estimated at 282 acres and is 100% lined. Firefighters made significant progress overnight and will continue to deepen the line around the fire. Crews still have extensive work in steep terrain and dense timber. Additional crews are on standby for new fire starts as more critical fire weather is expected today. And new evacuation levels are now in place for the Wood Rat Mountain Fire from late last night. Zones JAC 436 and 428 are now under level 3 go now evacuations. A level 2 be set evacuation is also in effect for zone JAC 428B. The evacuation areas include portions of Sterling Creek Road and the Buncombe area. We have the latest information on our website.
Quebec.
13 new large fires in a single day, and the I-5 freeway through California is shut down right now. 95 large fires are burning uncontained across the United States as of this morning, August 7th. That number was 86 yesterday. 9 more large fires became uncontained in the last 24 hours. Oregon just invoked its Emergency Conflagration Act, the highest wildfire emergency declaration a state can make. And here is the number that should stop you cold. Nearly 50,000 new acres burned across the United States in a single day, per the IMSR. 5.6 million acres burned year to date, running at 144% of the 10-year average. All data in this video comes directly from the NFC IMSR, INCIWeb, and official incident reports, verified source, no guessing. This is an action-packed and genuinely historic fire weather situation across the American West. Let's get right into it. We are going to go south to north and west to east today, and I want to start in Southern California because the I-5 freeway is closed right now. The Ridge Fire near Gorman, California shut down the I-5 through the Grapevine in both directions Friday afternoon after the fire jumped the freeway. As of 8 p.m., the California Highway Patrol confirmed the I-5 had reopened. If you are planning to drive the I-5 through the Teon Pass area tonight, do not. That road is closed and active fire is the reason. Los Angeles County has issued a level 3 go now evacuation order for the Hungry Valley zone, with level 2 warnings extending into adjacent areas. Kern County has also issued a level 2 evacuation warning for zone KRN 545. Check your county's emergency management page for real-time updates. In Ventura County, the Buena Fire is holding at approximately 5 acres off Yerba Buena Road near Backbone Trail, but a level 2 warning is already in place for Carlisle Canyon. 5 acres sounds small in a week like this, but in steep canyon terrain with winds and 12 to 20% relative humidity, that can change in minutes. The Buzzard Fire near Lebec in Kern County is at 895 acres and 25% contained, an improvement from 0 containment yesterday. The Gann Fire near Valley Springs in Calaveras County is showing real progress. 10,374 acres, 33% contained, up from 19% yesterday. 3,158 personnel are working the Gann Fire alone. That is the size of a small city's workforce on one fire. Now let's move into the Great Basin because the Widemouth 2 fire near Kanash, Utah is the fire with the most dangerous momentum in today's report. Here is the official IMSR number as of this morning, 99,485 acres, 19% contained. That grew by 12,283 acres overnight. The kind of growth that happens when extreme fire behavior runs unchecked through the night. The IMSR has upgraded this fire's behavior classification to extreme. That means crowning, group torching, and long-range spotting are all occurring simultaneously. Crowning, that is when fire moves from the ground up into the tops of trees and runs through the canopy, moving faster than any ground crew can safely approach. Long-range spotting means burning embers are being carried miles ahead of the fire's main front by wind, landing in unburned fuels and starting new fires before crews even know they exist. The Widemouth 2 fire is now within 7,700 acres of the Babylon fire in San Juan County. Utah's largest wildfire of the 2026 season at 107,000 acres. At the growth rate it showed overnight, this fire could reach that record threshold before tomorrow morning's IMSR is even published. But here is the layer that makes this situation even more dangerous. Look at the dry lightning threat map issued today by meteorologist Chris Nunley. The zone at risk for dry lightning today runs from Ely, Nevada through Pioche, Nevada, directly into Cedar City and St. George, Utah. That is the exact geographic area surrounding the Widemouth 2 fire perimeter. Dry lightning does not just threaten new fires, it can directly compromise an already struggling containment effort. And NIFC separately issued a new fuels and fire behavior advisory today specifically for eastern Nevada and central Utah, the same zone, the same threat confirmed by the federal agency. Evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect across Millard and Sevier counties. Follow the Millard County Sheriff and Sevier County Sheriff pages for the most current levels. Widemouth 2 fire information line 435-261-3607. Full closure information at insaweb.wildfire.gov. Also in the Great Basin, the Tartar Fire northwest of Weiser, Idaho has actually improved significantly. 153,000 acres, now 66% contained, up from 53%. The Ward Fire near Ely, Nevada jumped from 5% to 27% contained. Meaningful progress with a full incident management team now on scene. Watch the Black Canyon Fire near Price, Utah, 2,000 acres and 0% contained, with evacuations already in effect and active uphill runs and flanking behavior reported. All right, let's head into the Pacific Northwest. And I want to start in Oregon because, my goodness, the number of fires today in this state is unlike anything we have seen this season. Oregon has 5 significant new fires confirmed in the IMSR today, and the state has invoked its Emergency Conflagration Act for one of them. The Wright Spring Fire near Chiloquin in Klamath County is the one that triggered the act.
Chiloquin.
8,722 acres as of Friday morning, 0% contained, extreme fire behavior with group torching and spotting. The Emergency Conflagration
learn to pronounce
Act is
the
one
things
of
right,
Oregon's
robot.
most powerful wildfire
At least I think it's a
emergency
robot.
tools.
Probably a
It
person.
allows
I
the
don't know.
state to mobilize resources immediately, bypassing normal procurement processes to get crews where they're needed fastest. This is the 12th time it has been invoked in the 2026 fire season alone. Oregon's Green Incident Management Team is responding, and 6 structural task forces are being deployed.
Well, let me tell you, it's because they took all the money for the fire service and pissed it away. And then on top of it, they're trying to get rid of even more of that money by trying to stop hunting, fishing, raising cattle, stepping on a snail, whatever the hell else there might be. That's why. They used to have a really good fire service, both Washington and Oregon. They used to go down to California to help them out all the time. Well, they pulled a bunch of the money away from it, so now no one's doing anything anymore. Yeah, and they're pocketing money probably, or embezzling it, or like, again, you look at the capital of Oregon is Salem, right? A lot of people think it's Portland, but most of the money goes to Portland, right? So you get Salem, a lot of money going there, a lot going to Portland, especially federal funds, so on and so forth. Bend's another one.
Level 3 Go Now evacuations are in effect for 10 zones around Sprague River Road east of Chiloquin and the community of Sprague River.
Chiloquin, you idiot.
We also want to acknowledge with great sadness that a firefighter was killed on the Wright Spring Fire. Jason Ensign, a dozer operator from Klamath Falls, died when rapidly changing fire conditions cut off his escape route. So our thoughts are with his family
Redwoods,
and
the
crew.
big ass redwoods.
The hidden forest
That's
fire
California.
near Bend, not yet in the IMSR, but confirmed by Deschutes National Forest, started at 8:54 this morning and grew to 297 acres by 5:30 this afternoon. Level 3 Go Now evacuation notices are in effect for the Forest Service Road 18 area near Arnold Ice Cave. Large air tankers, seats, and scoopers are all on it. The Cottonwood Fire, 15 miles southwest of Long Creek, is a brand new entry in today's IMSR. 300 acres, 0% contained, timber and brush evacuations in effect. The Woodrat Mountain Fire near Jacksonville in Jackson County is now confirmed in the IMSR at 300 acres, wind-driven runs, group torching, spotting, and numerous structures threatened. Here is what stands out about the Big Grass Fire and why you should be watching it closely. 390,900 acres as of this morning. That is 31,989 new acres in a single day. The largest single-day fire growth of any fire in today's national report. Big Grass is now larger than the Roe Creek complex, making it Oregon's largest currently active fire. And it is only 39% contained with wind-driven runs continuing today. The Roe Creek complex near Fossil checks in at 354,842 acres and 64% contained per the official IMSR. A note on numbers, the August 7th morning Quick Facts showed a higher acreage and containment figure for Roe Creek, but the IMSR is the authoritative federal document, and that is what we use here. The Grasshopper Fire near Sportsman Park has grown to 43,244 acres. Up nearly 4,000 acres from yesterday, 23% contained. Once again, Oregon has now burned well past 2 million acres in this calendar year, shattering its modern wildfire record, and new fires are still starting every single day. Now into Washington state, and the Little Giant Fire in Chelan County continues to be one of the most dangerous fires in the nation today. The official IMSR figure for the Little Giant Fire as of August 7th is 77,509 acres, up 3,225 acres from yesterday. 1% contained, 1,687 personnel, $24.5 million spent, 1,824 structures threatened. And the IMSR's language on fire behavior is unambiguous. Extreme fire behavior with crowning uphill runs and long-range spotting. A 445-acre spot fire has established itself on the north shore of Lake Chelan. Embers jumped the lake entirely, igniting new fuels on the opposite shoreline. That is what long-range spotting looks like in practice. Embers traveling across a lake, landing, and starting a new fire where you thought you had a water barrier. Evacuation orders and warnings cover a wide area across Chelan and Okanogan counties. If you are in a level 2 or 3 zone, please don't wait for conditions to get worse before you leave. 3 new fires in Washington are making their debut in today's IMSR, and they all have 0% containment and active to extreme fire behavior. The Three Queens Fire near Snoqualmie Pass is the most urgent. It started at 500 acres in the IMSR and grew to 883 acres by this afternoon. Level 3 Go Now evacuation orders cover all cabins and camp areas around Cooper Lake. A spot fire has also established on the east side of Lake Cachus, which tells you exactly what the wind was doing today. The High Lava Fire near Stabler in Gifford-Pinchot National Forest is at 409 acres with 0 containment and active flanking and backing behavior. The Grand Park 2 fire north of Mount Rainier National Park is at approximately 200 acres in remote, difficult access terrain. Crews are conducting aggressive initial attack right now. Washington's Sinlahecan Fire near Tonasket has escalated 126,807 acres, but importantly, the IMSR upgraded its behavior to extreme today. Kaiser Canyon near Nespelum improved to 53% contained from 43.
Well, was it?
But
Did you
47
sell it
structures
before
have
that?
now been confirmed lost at that fire. Good news on the Modrite Fire, 5,474 acres, but containment jumped to 6 yesterday. Crews are making real progress there. Let's step into Montana and the Northern Rockies because 4 new large incidents were reported here today, and all 4 have 0% containment. The Big Buffalo Fire 8 miles north of Circle is the largest new Montana entry at 1,500 acres. Grass fuel, wind-driven runs, active spotting. The Fuller's Coulee Fire 30 miles north of Circle is at 400 acres, also grass, also wind-driven. 2 new grass fires near the same community in the same day is a significant local threat. The Slough grass fire near Colstrip is at 400 acres with wind-driven runs, torching, and spotting. And the Black Bear fire near Hamilton in the Bitterroot National Forest is at 140 acres with structures threatened. Meanwhile, existing fires in the Northern Rockies are also growing. Bobcat Lakes near Wisdom grew 875 acres, and the Moose Fire near Phillipsburg grew over 700, with evacuations now in effect. Over in Colorado, the 310 fire near Battlement Mesa in Garfield County is a new entry with 331 acres, 0% containment, and extreme fire behavior. Evacuations are already in effect. The Elk Fire near Lake City has more than doubled since yesterday. 5,117 acres, 40% contained, with numerous structures now threatened. Arizona's Heart Fire near Sedona is worth mentioning for a unique reason. 13 acres.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be too, Brady, and then everything got
fire
fired.
managers have made the deliberate decision to not drop water on it. The concern is that water drops would displace burning debris and send it falling into the canyon below, creating a much larger and harder to control fire problem in inaccessible terrain. That is a genuinely unusual fire management decision, and it illustrates how terrain can completely change the calculus. Sometimes not fighting is the right call. Monsoon moisture is expected to increase over the Sedona area by Monday, August 10th, so fire managers are monitoring and letting the weather do the work they cannot. Now, here is the big picture weather story that ties everything together today. And I want to walk through it carefully because it connects to everything we have just covered. The dominant feature driving this entire situation is what meteorologists call an upper-level ridge, more commonly known as a heat dome. Think of a heat dome this way. It is a massive bubble of high pressure parked over the Intermountain West that acts like an actual lid on a pot, trapping hot air near the surface. Blocks cooler, moister Pacific air from moving in. It prevents storm systems from passing through, and it just keeps the same hot, dry air recycling over the same areas day after day. Per the NIFC Predictive Services discussion issued this morning, daytime relative humidity is dropping to 3 to 15% across California, the Northwest, the Great Basin, and the Northern Rockies. And here is the detail that keeps fire managers up at night.
Oh, sweet. Thanks,
Overnight
Brady girl.
recovery is described as poor, meaning the humidity never bounces back and fires stay dangerously active all night long. When we say poor overnight recovery in fire weather, we mean relative humidity at 3 in the morning is still below 25%. Fuels never rehydrate, crews cannot safely close in. Temperatures are forecast to exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the lower elevations of California, the Northwest, the Great Basin, Northern Rockies, West Slope, and Central High Plains today. The peak is near 110 degrees in inland California, the Southern Great Basin, and Western Arizona. That includes Phoenix, the Inland Empire, the Central Valley. Wind is the third ingredient in this recipe. 12 to 20 miles per hour with gusts to 35 in the Cascade Gaps, the Northern Sierra Front, the Northern Great Basin, and the Northern Rockies. 35-mile-per-hour gusts on a fire in timber with 3% relative humidity. That is how you get crowning, long-range spotting, and 32,000 acres of growth in a single day. Now let's add the layer that could make tomorrow's numbers even more alarming, the dry lightning threat.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know what they are yet, but I appreciate
it. The NIFC Predictive Services discussion confirms isolated dry thunderstorms are possible across southeast California, the Southern Great Basin, and the Southern Sierra today and into tomorrow. An independent map from meteorologist Chris Nunley shows the specific zone, southern Nevada from Las Vegas through Ely and Piache, extending northeast into Cedar City and St. George in Utah. Dry lightning, and the mechanism here matters, happens when a thunderstorm develops in moist air aloft, but the air near the surface is so dry that the rain evaporates before it reaches the ground. The technical term is virga, those ghostly streaks you can see falling from a cloud in the desert that disappear before they hit the earth. What reaches the ground is only the lightning strike, the gusty outflow winds, and the potential for a new fire ignition in bone-dry fuels with no rain to help suppress it. And that dry lightning zone sits directly on top of the Widemouth 2 fire perimeter. This is not a background threat. It is a threat to an already active and barely contained large fire. Oklahoma, meanwhile, is dealing with the opposite extreme today. If you are near Oklahoma City right now, severe storms are moving in from the north. The northern cell near Perry and Stillwater is packing 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, while a larger southern cell approaching Edmond, Piedmont, and Oklahoma City is expected to produce 60 to 70-mile-per-hour gusts. That is the same atmospheric instability that feeds severe thunderstorms in the southern plains, while the west burns under a locked heat dome, two extremes from the same large-scale pattern. And then there is the story that connects the drought to the fire crisis in a way that is impossible to ignore. Lake Mead has officially broken its all-time record low water level today, confirmed by the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. Lake Mead fell below its previous record low set in July of 2022, hitting the lowest elevation recorded since the reservoir was first filled in the 1930s. Lake Powell is also approaching historically low territory, and the Colorado River Basin that these two reservoirs feed provides water for 40 million Americans.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be an AI too, especially with how much they mispronounce things.
Is the identical climate pattern that is drying out the fuels now burning across 5.6 million acres. This is a water crisis and a fire crisis.
Oh, sweet! Another
on the
fire
same
just
engine,
started.
and understanding
Great.
that connection matters for everyone in the West, not just the people in active evacuation zones. All right, let's talk about what comes next, because the 5-day outlook is what determines whether this situation stabilizes.
All right, that's enough of you. I've dealt with you as long as I could. Can't do it no more. So apparently another fire just started in Oregon, a vegetation fire. It's only 4 acres right now, so hopefully they get under control quickly.
Cascade departure from C124.3, squawk 6645.
Copy, we'll get a couple of engines en route as well. 1611.
Horizon 2329, read back, correct?
Crescent, I believe. I'll double check, but this is Burbank. Has a fire burning right now also. Some fire is good for some forests, not all of them. Crescent Butte fire. That one just popped up on my Watch Duty app at 2:53. Oh, late. Oh, it's extended. That's why. All right.
242 is the ground contact for Telebox at 1612.
What's going on, Joshua? But yeah, Brady, as I explained earlier to the rest of the audience, we were supposed to go camping.
Squad 13, priority E, cardiac arrest. Granby regarding
That's not good.
number 503 at 2115 Roberts Road, number 503, Medford, between Sunburst Court and North Keenway Drive.
We were supposed to go out there. We got a bunch of stuff on the truck done. Get the truck ready to go through some trails and stuff. And then I looked and I saw, 45 minutes away, there's a big ass fire. And then I was like, I don't really feel safe.
Detection has nothing shown for the White City investigation. Be advised, there is light drift smoke in the area. And per the CAD, the cloud shapes are in line with the fire going on the Klamath side.
Starline has just tipped $50. Let's get over 100.
Thank you very much for the $50 when we come back. Generally, it's when they get really bad and stuff's, dead for a while. But when we when we started looking around and we're like, wow, the fires are really close.
What they're doing here in the drop that you can see there with the helicopter right over the trees there is working.
And we decided that it's just not a good time. And there's more fires starting up, so last thing we want to do is get trapped in the middle of a wildfire. Or the house catches fire and I'm not home.
Canyon, appear to be, the mood is lightening a little bit. The concern turning to a bit of relief here among some of the people.
All right, well, no, Burbank's stupid. Never mind, I took that off.
Investigation at 16761 Jones Road in White City. Rough legal of 35 south,
Nice.
2 west, section 2 southwest northeast.
Are you good to go in the caves?
237.
237, table rock.
And yes, a lot of these fires were started by arson, is what they keep finding. Maybe not all of them, but a good number of them are arson.
At 1614.
Yeah, I had all the stuff on, like, ready to go, all packed, good to go. We,
We're in the area of Jones Road. Nothing showing other than the fire in Klamath.
Metro copies in the area of Jones Road. Nothing showing other than the fire from Klamath at 1615.
but we got, like, the good thing is,
We got a good look at the area. We're going to wait for 2 kilo to confirm there's nothing, and then we can cancel all units.
the good news is,
242 UTL so far. Going to wait for 2 kilo on that recon.
oh, God.
And potentially cancel all units. 1615.
Okay. God damn it. The truck got a tune-up, so that was good.
Yeah, always stand by 238, 231. We'll continue that 237 to the Jones Road.
I still need to go.
238, 231, continuing 237, break 238.
I still want to go through the gear housing and pull all the oil and put new oil in and then do transmission. And then I need to get coil packs.
445 limit, turn left Alpha 3 and then turn right on Alpha.
Oh, I bet, Fritz.
You want the self-serve?
That's right, Jet.
445 limit, it's out of service. That's why I was just going to let you know.
By the way, socialist Alexandra Cortez has surpassed Gavin Newsom in the odds to win the 2028 election.
That long. I don't know how long you're going to be here. But today it's out of service. I'll check with Millionaire if you just remain on the frequency.
Thank you. That for 242.
242.
UTL from 242 and 2 kilo. Let's go ahead and cancel and return all units, please.
Chilling Death on TikTok was live streamed
UTL from yourself and 2 kilo. Cancel all units.
when a young man decided that he was going to dive headfirst into a water tank for more likes. He couldn't turn around once he got inside the confined space and drowned on stream.
221 copies in service. 319. 319 copies, canceling, standby headquarters. 417.
Right, and that's the other issue that happened in Oregon to Washington is the buildup of fuels.
928.
It's also why
928 copies, canceling, standby headquarters.
523.
it's also why the Forest Service has said from the start lowering prices so they can get more people hunting. Because the hunters and the campers go out there and clear a lot of that shit out too.
247.
47 canceling in service, South County. 584. Copy direct in service control area. At 1619. Kilo, Calabox. 2 kilo. We'll be canceling. Return to roll off. That's for copies. 2 kilo, UTL in service back to roll off. 1619.
Yeah. I mean, fires are good. You got to make sure they don't get out of hand, right? And then you start burning down like, everything. That's no bueno. That's all bad.
10-3 status check.
I believe, Brady, you have my address already, correct? I believe you do.
228 George Lincoln Henry. It's going to be Hawthorne and...
Savage, I'm near those fires. I don't want one of those to keep burning towards me. I'm 45 minutes away. It's a little butt clenchy as it is.
Empire 7687 met for ground clear to the Portland airport via the Jackson 1 departure. Then is spelled maintain 10,000, 10,000. Cascade departure C124.3, squawk 4770.
Why you do this? Why you do this to me? I mean, look, if I'm moving to the south, I'm moving to Arkansas. Then I can work at Trappers.
Back, right?
Just verifying E17, is that a water tender? Okay, copy that. I will send
It's south of
you
me.
a picture of your 204. We'll run with that plan.
Or you can email me and I can email it to you. You have my email. Just do that. I mean, either or. You can do either or of us. It's fine.
Now, Jalen's mother's wedding ring was one of them. It was one of the few that the family had to remember her by, so finding it was very important. The home was filled with memories, but when it burned, Mike and Jalen were not home, so they were unable to save very little. Their daughter Jennifer and her husband Sean and some friends walked back to the house to find 3 things. They were able to find 2 of them, and the ring was by far the most important and sentimental. It's times like this where the small positive moments that come out of a tragic situation make you show how important your family is
I
in the
just didn't go
community
camping, so I made sure you feels okay.
Reporting live in Spokane, I'm Rachel Turcotte, Nonstop Local.
All right, thank you, Rachel, and we're going to have much more on this.
Make sure the cat's safe. Make sure she's safe, right?
On Pulse Prime.
Everything else can be replaced.
We do want to give you the very latest on containment.
I mean, not really,
here.
but
this is what
that's what I tell myself.
Commanders, the Old Trails fire covers about 3,500 acres, 43% contained. Autumn Lane is at 5,800
Yeah,
acres,
that's why.
and they have a handle on half of it, 50%. Fairview fire in the Meade area is about 1,000 acres with 31% Spokane containment.
Otherwise, I want to be back till tomorrow.
At least 921 homes and buildings are damaged or destroyed, with 694 in the Old Trails area, 168 Autumn Lane, 59 for Fairview. Let's go ahead and look at the evacuations. You can see there's very little change from yesterday. They have not expanded, though, so that's the good news right now. And we do have some critical fire weather going on out there. Rosemary Wright is in our weather center. What's happening with these winds, Rosemary?
Yes, winds certainly top of mind today, Heidi, with that red flag warning. We're talking about winds on top of heat and also very dry weather, not only through Spokane and Stevens counties where the Old Trails, Autumn Lane,
what's up, Wasteland Warrior?
Fires burned tonight, but also now this Wells fire burning there in Malden. I want to check in with all of those conditions. First, here's a peek at the several fires we've got burning across our entire community. Here's a look at where we still are tracking those Spokane area complex of fires, of course, but now that big picture, right? We've got temperatures in the mid 80s right now for Spokane County, mid to upper 80s there in Whitman County where that Wells fire burns right now, and very low humidity across the board. We have a relative humidity at 24% in Spokane, so well into that danger zone, right? We want to see 30% or higher on a day like this. Instead, we're falling further and further into the 20s.
There's my email, Brady Girl, and I put up top.
Humidity actually drops. So getting into Whitman County, we see humidity into the teens. So very, very dry day for our fire crews. And unfortunately, we've got even more dry weather in the coming hours here. We're looking for relative humidity to fall to just 10%.
I know what the hell you were talking about for about 2 seconds there, Savage. I was like,
not only
oh,
for Spokane, but also through Pullman, 11% in Potlatch. So that whole
can you
stretch
just
where we've got the
note
Spokane
on
area
team
complex
for the
of fire,
dogs?
and now this Wells fire, both very, very dry. And tomorrow is similarly dry day, relative humidity in the teens as we get to about 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Outside of that humidity, here's the answer to your question now, Heidi. What is going on with those winds? You'll notice that we're expecting those wind gusts to peak today before that red flag warning expires in the mid 20 mile per hour range for Spokane, with the breeziest conditions through the Columbia Basin and along the Cascades, where the Three Queens fire burns tonight in Ellensburg. But watch what happens overnight. Those wind gusts climb into that upper 20 mile per hour range on the Palouse and through Whitman County, where that new fire is burning right now. Unfortunately, we've also got dry weather in terms of quiet skies tonight too, so no relief for our firefighters there. And on top of it all, we're still dealing with some
253 copy.
I had to turn her audio off. I don't know why they have a ground fault, but it is killing me. What the hell's going on with that? But Browdy Girl, there was my thewolfnavy@gmail.com. That is my email for the show. You would like to get a hold of me. Otherwise, you could just get a hold through Eufy, which is also good. Oh, God. Dutch Bros always hits the spot. I introduced my brother the first time to Dutch Bros. He brought me a caramelizer. He's like, I don't know what the hell to bring, so I just grabbed this. I was like, there is no bad choices.
Clear current 2006 forward. RO is Brian Johnson or Ashley Mossy out of Reading.
Cool. Awesome. Just let me know, because I don't check that email very often, so just heads up. And that email is for anybody in the show trying to email me, so it's not like it's a big secret or anything. It is the email for the show, so everybody can get a hold of me if needed.
232 Mary X-ray Nora, 5th Black Lexus, 4th in Riverside.
Did you know that old Fords
My current. Send me that suspected overdose.
used to come with all the gaskets and stuff? Yes, you have. See, is the audio back now with her?
west of Rosalia and north of St. John in Whitman County is at a level 3 go now evacuation order across the whole town. A wildfire is nearby and it is closing in on the town. That's what the fire officials are saying. The fire, we are told, is near John Ty Road. These level 3 evacuations means everybody in Malden needs to get out immediately, to not delay. As I was pulling up reports, I see that in September of 2020, a wildfire destroyed 80% of the town of Malden. Again, it appears to be under attack from a new wildfire now. So Pullman firefighters, Spokane firefighters, and then fire districts from across Whitman County are all deploying.
Don't buy anything for 2020 on, I hear.
And help battle this fire. Again, they want all the people in Malda to avoid just hanging around. They want you to get out. They also, if you don't need to be in the area, they want you to keep the roads clear for people who are trying to evacuate. We'll continue to follow this breaking news and other.
You know, I'm going to say right now, I don't think my 2018 is pretty nice, but I have no issues with that. Well, the issues I have, I'm just going to say this now and paraphrase it. The issues I have are wear and tear items right now, right? So, you know, spark plugs go out, gaskets go out, oil changes need done, blah, blah, blah. Beyond that, my truck works great. And the engine in it is just, it's a freaking workhorse. As long as you keep it going. But anything past 2020, right? I don't care. I don't care what manufacturer. I think they're all shit now. Like, I was reading reviews and the amount of people that call up and be like, hey, you know, we need to do all these recalls. And you're like, Jesus Christ. And it's like, it's for stuff that should have never been an issue. So I guess one of the things that was an issue was that, like, what was it, Volkswagens? I think it was Volkswagens. They were using the soy to make parts out of. And what ended up happening is that the rats would come in and eat the wiring harnesses because they're made out of food products. Well, right. They started designing cars to be throwaway vehicles, right? Because at one point, America had enough money that they could just F it away and not care. Well, what ended up happening is the recession, everything else happened. And then people go, oh crap, now I have no money, right? And I got to keep this bucket of shit running. Well, that's right. That's all bullshit. I didn't pay that. I bought an old vehicle on purpose. But it's definitely a huge issue. And, you know, there might be some gems out there. Like, I heard some of the minivans are like some of the gems that might stay because they're for family vehicles and they realize, like, people are going to hang on to them. But trucks, oh, Jesus. SUVs, crap. Little, like what the Honda Civic used to be, crap. And then the other thing is, they were like, well, if we do this, you know, more people will have jobs because you got to keep, you got to have people able to work. So if we do throwaway vehicles, we can get these vehicles to work.
About this long duration of heat.
Well, then they went and took away, you know, the jobs in the United States.
Was destroyed. And like so many others, there were keepsakes to be found. Now, Jalen's mother's wedding ring was one of them.
Oh, they're talking about the wedding ring thing again. All right. All right. Also, I'm going to say this too, since I'm here looking at my other screens, looking for more news and stuff happening while I watch the fire slowly grow and tighten my anus as it moves somewhat more towards me. God damn. Is that what you named your car? SMN DMN. Oh shit. I'm not gonna lie, man. If I drove up to somebody and their license plate said SMN DMN, I'll be like anyways. Well, I think most do. When I sold Machinist, my old Explorer, that was a 2016, and that thing still runs. And I swear he's got like 400,000 miles on it. WMN PNS. Oh, why nobody ever honk at me? So that audio is coming from Medford, Oregon, the Roxy and Peak.
This is Hallstrom. It's Henry, Adam, Lincoln, Sam, Tom, Robert, Ocean, Mary, versus Jordan, 520 and 98.
Well, again, the thing with Toyotas and Hondas
Adam Nora or Edward Nora?
is they used to, again, have a certain thing they used to hit. Same with Fords. Fords used to be the most used trucks. And now I heard they're not. They're moving to different vehicles, something more reliable. Well, the Ocean is the one thing you don't piss off, right?
One versus Jordan Middle and Mary last of Hallstrom, 520 of 98, has a restricted warrant, FTA for possession of amphetamines out of JCSO. Suspended violation.
Oh, someone's getting picked up with the meth. Just isn't more of the fire. Oh, the smoke just is getting to me. I don't have blue skies. I have smoky skies. All right, let's go hear Burbank for a minute.
They were the ones, when we had just arrived here about an hour ago, that were there at the crest of that hill and looked like they were in position to potentially move down here towards Sunset Canyon, towards this residential area, and potentially do some damage. But you can see what kind of containment effort that firefighters were able to get going on the ground here, especially targeting some of those areas as we go towards the right there. They're still trying to put out some pockets, but it is in no way as intense, or that line of fire that was there in the hill right where those teams are operating at this moment, that's no longer there. You got some pockets and you got some smoldering. It does not look as intense or threatening as it did when we showed up here. So signs of progress there. What we do not like to see in this moment is how intense the burning still looks like it is higher up on the backside of some of the crests of the hills there as you go higher up above Wildwood Canyon Park there, above the city of Burbank. There is still what looks to be thicker smoke that is a product, again, of some of the firefighting efforts. Some of that is getting kicked up by these water drops that helicopters continue to do, but it does indicate that more of the fire activity is still present up there in the hills, stuff that we can't see when it comes to actual flames here from the ground just because of our view being blocked by the hills themselves, but probably more visible from above. But you can just see how much is still being kicked up into the sky on the backside of the hills, going higher up above the city of Burbank, higher than even the command post there up towards Castaway Restaurant. That's way up into the hills there, and you can see there's a little more black smoke that's being kicked up towards where the low water mark, the low flame mark towards the homes was earlier, and those hot spots are going to be something that are just going to have to be dealt with as we look into the hours ahead with this firefight. But that sort of wall, that line of flame is not present the same way that it was, or nearly as threatening appearing as it was when we arrived out here above Sunset Canyon Drive about an hour ago. You can definitely see how much progress has been made in that firefight, and right where that helicopter is going for the drop is where I was talking about. They're focusing their efforts because it seems like the most activity is still present, the most burning still present on the backside of the hills going up there. You guys heard our live interview with some of the neighbors there. They went from really fear and worry that they were going to have to go into evacuation mode to feeling a lot better about really not being threatened by these flames, their homes not going to be impacted. Some of the people we just talked to said in years of living here in Burbank, in the really foothills going up into Wildwood Canyon, this is the closest that flames have come for them, and really the closest they've come to feeling like they were going to have to rapidly evacuate and that their homes were going to be threatened. They say that thankfully that does not appear to be the case based on how quickly firefighters were able to jump into action, and that includes the efforts of the teams on the ground and those drops that are still going one after the other. Pretty rapid fire and consistent here from the helicopters, and again focusing most of their efforts now higher up into the hills on the backside of the crest that you can't see as well from the ground here. So there have been sighs of relief. The crowd of people who were worried here standing on the street in Burbank going up into the hills, wondering if these flames were going to race through this park area and make their way into the very streets here. That's not happening, apparently, according to what we can see from the firefight here. And you can see the crowds have basically diminished people who were standing out here with their hands on their heads, with their phones to their ears, calling loved ones, saying that there's a fire that looks very, very dangerous to their homes, that does not appear to be the case anymore. People have really cleared out here and have a lot of trust in these firefighters to get the job done. And it looks like they are setting that containment, that it looks like they're targeting the areas that are burning heavily higher up into the hills there. So when we look at the firefight at this point, a lot of relief at this point from people living in Burbank. There are still those who are watching this unfold and probably not going to sleep easy until this thing is completely done. And obviously the sky is no longer filled with smoke, really just a few hundred feet above some of their homes here in Burbank. But we're going to continue to watch these efforts here, talk to people on the ground, and hopefully see this thing cleaned up in the next few hours. For the moment, though, back to you all.
Wow, I have to offer praise to you, your photographer, the firefighters. That was really a dramatic live look at the choppers going into that thick smoke, and you see the ground crews in the foreground. Thank you so much. We're going to switch live to our chopper right now to get a different view in that we're going to show you where some of these landmarks are that we have been talking about. The staging area, the Castaway restaurant that is way up in the hills where you get that great view, and some of the other landmarks there like the Starlight Bowl.
Let's check back in now with our Ryan Williams in News Trapper 4. And Ryan, we understand you wanted to put up some of your mapping technology to give us a better perspective of exactly where this fire is burning in relation to the golf course and to those neighborhoods nearby. All right, looks like we may have trouble with Ryan hearing us right now, but oh, there it is. Ryan, are you with us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. A little choppy, but I can hear you.
Just talk about the progress you've been seeing over the last several minutes or so. We just got a really good vantage point of some of the firefighters now building containment lines from Keenan's live shot just minutes ago. But we know you wanted to use the mapping technology here to show us exactly where this is burning in relation not only to the golf course, but of course to the neighborhoods just, feet from where this fire is burning.
Yes, yeah, you could see that the golf course and the Castaway restaurant right there in the center of your screen. That has really been a crucial point for these firefighters to be able to really see what's going on around the hill. As Keenan mentioned earlier, looking from the really in the suburban area of Burbank, that you really can't see how much of the flames are really burning. But up here from the helicopter, you can see just how much smoke is still kind of being blown up. And I really have seen a lot of hand crews on the ground that are getting close to this fire, but the terrain is really starting to affect the fuel of this fire.
All right, right now we want to stay with your shot. We want to bring in Esteban Gonzalez, who is my brother, who was just down the street from where this fire is burning there on East Harvard Road. Esteban, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
So talk about you happen to be visiting our parents just about an hour ago. You and your wife and your son are driving towards Burbank. You guys sent me that video from the 5 freeway. Tell me when you first realized, whoa, that is not just any fire. That smoke plume was massive.
Yeah, so we were coming from I-5 South, coming from Northridge, and we hit about Sun Valley, and we saw some smoke a little bit, and we're like, oh, what is that? Is that a factory? We couldn't tell if that was in the hill. As we got closer, it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and we came up to where Burbank High School is, where Harvard is, and then it just got really, really big, and we actually saw it jump a little bit from, even when we were looking up. It started kind of on the left side of the street, and then it kind of spread out, and it got pretty heavy, but...
We're looking at chopper images right now as we talk to you, Esteban. I mean, this is a place near and dear to your heart. You were on the golf team in high school. You played golf up here. You and our dad play golf here often enough there at the 9 hole. And this is a place that's very popular, especially on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, we're very familiar with this. You know, we actually have plans to go play golf on Monday, so I don't know if this is going to thwart those plans. But, yeah, definitely, especially on a Saturday, you know, people are up there all the time, so I'm hoping, you know, no one's hurt or anything. You know, they evacuated everybody, so.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. We thank you for the video that you took. That was really amazing. How does it make you feel growing up here and you see these things and you see that they're threatened and, you know people who live there? How does it make you feel? Have you ever been through anything like this before?
Yeah, I mean,
I blame Governor Newsom.
One other time that there was a, you know, looking up and there's flames like right in your face, maybe, you know, sometime in the early 2000s, but it's very rare that it happens in Burbank, especially in these hills. So to see that, and you know, when you're down here, they look huge, right? Like, and you know, there's houses up there, the golf course, the restaurant. So it is pretty shocking to see.
Again, folks, let's try to fill a whole bar tonight. Thank you, everybody.
2006.
Hit that like button. We have it right down. Thank you.
Down on Bel Air, just not far from the Starlight Bowl itself, where they launch fireworks every year. And unfortunately, one of the fireworks back then actually caught the hillside on fire. Nothing at this, you know, at this rate, Kathy, but it has happened before. I was looking it up earlier. The last major fire was back in 2018, the Wildwood Fire. And then just last month, there was a small vegetation fire right where these flames are burning right now. Well, that's the thing they say, fire season all year long now. We all have to watch out. I think where we become afraid is that we know what can happen. So you have that feeling. Esteban, I know you're a new dad, and you've got the family with you, and it just changes your perspective. But I'm glad everything is okay again. Thank you for the video. It's amazing. And are there people out on the street there in Harbor just kind of watching what's happening? That seems to be what we're seeing on other streets where Keenan is. Definitely. Everyone was out here at one point, especially when I recorded one of those videos of the fire truck going up. Everyone was out here with their phones. I saw people like in e-bikes kind of going up to try to, you know, catch a glimpse of the scene. It seems to have slowed down now. No one's kind of out here.
And the e-bikes exploded.
Up, so it seems like, you know, everything's kind of under control and the hype's kind of gone down a little bit. And before we let you go, so you're seeing that kind of that white smoke that we're seeing as well. No, do you see any flames from your vantage point? You're about 3-4 blocks away. Yeah, not anymore. I just see smoke, just white smoke where the flames were at this point, but I don't see any visible flames. And how's the air quality where you are right now? You know, it's better than I would expect for a fire. Good. It's not too heavy, yeah. It looks like it's kind of contained up there, but the air feels pretty good. You know, obviously it's really hot, so that's not the greatest thing to have a fire when it's this hot, but yeah, it seems pretty good so far. So. All right, we'll call your dad. I think golf might be on still. Yeah, let's hope that you can golf him. You better break par on Monday. Yeah, let's hope so. Thank you, guys. Stalin, thank you. Good to talk to you. As we stay here with these images from our News Dropper 4, we want to check back in now with Ryan Williams. And Ryan, are you seeing any active flames? We're seeing a lot of white smoke, but it's really difficult from our vantage point, given how much smoke there is, to really determine if they're still making good progress here.
Yes, we're really just seeing some of that white smoke. I'm really trying to take a look and see exactly what is going on the backside of these hills. We don't really see if there's hand crews or if it's really just those helicopters that are being able to take out some of these areas that are a lot steeper. I'm going to take a look just here at the top of this hillside. You can see that, you know, normally we would see some hikers and people out and about, but we know that LAPD
Howdy, Randy.
Helicopter went through and checked to see
45 minutes away
on the trails, and they were so far luckily unable to find any of them.
Yeah, and early on they closed the hiking trail, Starlight Bowl as well closed. People are talking about staying home, and you know, Stephanie was mentioning close your windows, do all the things that you should do when the air quality is bad, especially if you're right in this area. And we can check in with her in just a minute because I'm curious about the smoke that's just staying in the area. I know Stephanie was mentioning that the winds were light about 3 miles per hour, but we're really just seeing that cloud of smoke just staying in this area, not really dissipating much anymore.
Yeah, and it's going to take some time, of course, for things to clear out, as it generally does when we deal with wildfires, of course. But you know, air quality, of course, is always a big concern when we talk about fires, and that's why it's important to remember to close the windows and close the doors, especially areas that you're seeing this, you're smelling this type of stuff. You don't want to inhale this.
That's what I'm saying, Randy.
I want to go over. Let me see if I could open up the air quality map. It does take some time for it to update. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, when
if
she
it's
get
not all
worrisome is when I start
yet,
saying
but I could give it a
35
try.
minutes,
I
30,
know when we also
25.
talk about heat, when we talk about these types of conditions, unfortunately, especially in the valleys and the Inland Empire, when we're dealing with not the best air quality as is, and then you factor in the wildfire, not good at all. So let me see here. I'm going to open up the air quality map, and you're seeing some of the moderate, some of the yellows, as you see. That's moderate around the Burbank area, but also around the area mountains, just areas nearby. It is unhealthy for sensitive groups and unhealthy for the general population. So again, another reason not to be out there. But quickly looking at the observation sites nearby, this is something that we are continuing to monitor. Those are the winds, right? So as we check out, we're seeing Rosemont Avenue just to the east of there, and we're still looking at some relatively light winds, sustained winds at 3 miles an hour, winds coming in from the south. So when fire crews are dealing with a fire like this, especially near neighborhoods, right? You don't want to hear that there's wind. And fortunately, we're not dealing with a whole lot of wind. The winds are relatively calm. Unfortunately,
I didn't get to go because of the fires.
And it's dry. Temperatures nearby in the 90s. In some cases, places, Burbank, they're dealing with temperatures in the mid 90s. We know humidity values are in the 20s, so it's pretty dry out there. You do have the heat alerts that remain in place. So when you have the hot temperatures, there's a lot of fuel, right?
Yeah.
It pretty much preheats everything. It doesn't take a whole lot for a fire to get started. Now, when you add the element, when you add the wind element, it could actually spread that fire pretty quickly. And it doesn't look that's the case right now, which is good news. Heat alerts, however,
I was looking forward to it too.
Tomorrow. At first, you may remember earlier in the week, it was until Wednesday. Then it just kept getting extended. And now we have the heat alert in effect through tomorrow. At first, it was until this evening, but that has changed, as you could see. We have the heat advisories, the areas in orange that you see pretty much covering the valleys, the basin, for the exception of the immediate coast. The areas in pink, that is an extreme heat warning also in place, and that's primarily for the area desert. So there's still also that moderate risk for heat illness. Now we're looking at some relief on the way. Today we have that high pressure system that remains overhead over the Four Corners region. We've been talking about this for quite some time, meaning locked in place. This is what's been promoting here, the dry conditions, the heat. Now it starts to shift its way out toward the east a little bit. This is going to draw in some monsoonal moisture. So this is also another thing you want to hear when we talk about elevated fire danger. You want there to be some humidity out there. You want there to be some moisture. And it looks like that's going to be the case as we head into the next several days, as that high pressure system begins to slide its way further east, providing us here that moisture, some relief as far as fire danger goes. Of course, when we're dealing with humidity, does not feel comfortable at all. We know that, especially when we're dealing with pretty hot temperatures here. Now, that humidity will linger as we head into next week. I want to go over and I want to show you here the future cast. So things are pretty quiet for right now. We head into tomorrow, especially around the area mountains. You start to see some of the clouds begin to develop. There's also the potential to see some pop-up showers and thunderstorms with the return of that monsoonal moisture out around the deserts and area mountains for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Just quickly going over the 7-day forecast for the basin. Temperatures here for tomorrow will be in the 90s, and then finally we're talking about some relief. We start to scale back those temperatures a little bit here as we continue. As you see Monday on.
Yes, Heidi. Well, Mike and Jalen
It's Wolf, but close enough.
Was destroyed, and like so many others, there were keepsakes to be found. Now, Jalen's mother's wedding ring was one of them. It was one of the few that the family had to remember her by, so finding it was very important. The home was filled with memories, but when it burned, Mike and Jalen were not home, so they were unable to save very little. Their daughter Jennifer and her husband Sean and some friends walked back to the house to find 3 things. They were able to find 2 of them, and the ring was by far the most important and sentimental. It's times like this where the small positive moments that come out of a tragic situation make you show how important your family is and the community coming together. Reporting live in Spokane, I'm Rachel Turcotte, Nonstop Local.
All right. right. Thank you, Rachel. And we're going to have much more on this sentimental story coming up tonight on Pulse Prime. Now, we do want to give you the very latest on containment here. This is what we're seeing from the commanders. The Old Trails fire covers about 3,500 acres, 43% contained. Autumn Lane is at 5,800 acres.
Make sure you folks hit the like button. You've already done it. Thank you.
50%. Fairview fire in the Meade area is about 1,000 acres with 31% containment. Now, at least 921 homes and buildings are damaged or destroyed, with 694 in the Old Trails area, 168 Autumn Lane, 59 for Fairview. Let's go ahead and look at the evacuations. You can see there's very little change from yesterday. They have not expanded, though, so that's the good news right now.
For that fire, though the Oregon ones are now and growing.
Out there. Rosemary Wright is in our weather center. What's happening with these winds, Rosemary?
Yes, winds certainly top of mind today, Heidi, with that red flag warning. We're talking about winds on top of heat and also very dry weather, not only through Spokane and Stevens counties where the Old Trails, Autumn Lane, and Fairview fires burned tonight, but also now this Wells fire burning there in Malden. I want to check in with all of those conditions. First, here's a peek at the several fires we've got burning across our entire community. Here's a look at where we still are tracking those Spokane area complex of fires, of course, but now that big picture, right? We've got temperatures in the mid 80s right now for Spokane County, mid to upper 80s there in Whitman County where that Wells fire burns right now, and very low humidity across the board. We have a relative humidity at 24% in Spokane, so well into that danger zone, right? We want to see 30% or higher on a day like this. Instead, we're falling further.
I don't know why Savage's mistress there has
south,
messed up
humidity
mic.
actually drops. So getting into Whitman County, we see humidity into the teens. So very, very dry day for our fire crews. And unfortunately, we've got even more dry weather in the coming hours here. We're looking for relative humidity to fall to just 10% today during the hottest time of the day, dinner time. 10% not only for Spokane, but also through Pullman, 11% in Potlatch. So that whole stretch where we've got the Spokane area complex of fire and now this Wells of fire, both very, very dry. And tomorrow, a similarly dry day, relative humidity in the teens as we get to about 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Outside of that humidity, here's the answer to your question now, Heidi. What is going on with those winds? You'll notice that we're expecting those wind gusts to peak today before that red flag warning expires in the mid 20 mile per hour range for Spokane, with the breeziest conditions through the Columbia Basin and along the Cascades, where the Three Queens fire burns tonight in Ellensburg, but watch what happens overnight. Those wind gusts climb into that upper 20 mile per hour range on the Palouse and through Whitman County, where that new fire is burning right now. Unfortunately, we've also got dry weather in terms of quiet skies tonight too, so no relief for our firefighters there. And on top of it all, we're still dealing with some pretty powerful smoke. So in the coming hours here, as we continue to check in with you at the top of every hour, Heidi, we're also going to be taking a close look at what to expect from our
No, I can't do it. I tried.
Yeah, Kathy, this has obviously been a huge disruption to people who thought they were going to be getting into a normal Saturday and instead saw really just a few hundred feet above their homes here in a very residential neighborhood, a line of fire, especially on the crest of that hill there where you can see the team on the ground focusing their efforts. That was where we saw the most close burning fire and what appeared to be a line that was threatening towards this lower area right over there up in Wildwood Canyon Park, right above these homes here, like on this street here, Grinnell Drive. People were lining the streets here, wondering if they were going to need to drop everything and evacuate because this was declared quickly a 3-alarm fire, and it looked to be very threatening with some really black smoke coming up, active line of flame there. And this is what the containment efforts have produced there in what was really the most threatening part of this fire when it came to the residential areas here in Burbank. You can see, I mean, aside from a few hot spots, we've seen just a pocket of flame or two pop up over the last half an hour or so at this point, but but it is in no way as threatening as it was when we got out here, and this appeared to be something that was threatening a residential area, a neighborhood right at the bottom of these hills. Again, just a few hundred feet above where some of these streets are, above Sunset Canyon Drive, above a golf course, above park here. So that was a huge cause for concern. We talked to people who said, yes, we were planning on going up there into Starlight and enjoying our Saturday, and instead are thinking about potentially having our homes at risk in a worst case scenario. A lot of the people we talked to today said one of the things that made them feel better about this firefight was how still the air is out here relatively. They're not getting the same kind of intense winds that
most
make
are
you think
dumb kids.
A wildfire scenario could break out and that the flames could spread more rapidly. Because of how relatively calm it is out here, they had a lot of confidence that firefighters were going to be able to do their job, and that appears to be what's happened here. When we look at the line of fire that was closest to the homes here in Burbank, it has really been essentially knocked down and forward progress halted on the closest area. And I talked to you guys about the worst part, what we could still see up there in the crest of the hills, higher into the hills. It looks like they're still doing drops, so we're going to continue watching this ongoing firefight, but the threat to homes looking like it's been halted here in Burbank. We'll keep watching things going into the hours ahead. Back to you.
Such a great update, our Keenan Willard. We'll check back shortly. Thank you, Keenan. And if you're just joining us, we have now been on the air for the past hour with this breaking news: a brush fire, the Walnut Fire, forcing evacuations and burning near homes in Burbank.
This is near the DeBelle Golf Course and Castaway Restaurant. Here is what we know so far. This fire broke out in Wildwood Canyon around 3:30 this afternoon. DeBelle and the golf course and the Canyon Nature Center are under evacuation orders. Hiking trails are closed. The fire burning near the Castaway Restaurant. As of now, firefighters say no homes are under any kind of evacuation order.
We begin our team coverage here at 5 o'clock with our Ryan Williams up in News Chopper 4. Ryan, you have been watching this very closely over the past hour. We have seen so much progress. Tell us about what the latest is. Still a lot of smoke out there.
Okay. Oh yeah, Lukens is also, we're right here.
All right, looks like we're still trying to establish a connection with Ryan. Ryan, are you here?
Oh yeah,
okay?
Bradley Girl, I reported on that within that night.
Having some trouble hearing
that it was
right
already
now,
started.
We can show you his picture. This is a live view, and what a difference an hour has made. When we first came on the air, we saw a lot of smoke. We saw flames in several areas of this canyon.
So much smoke, in fact, it was making it very difficult for the choppers actually putting out this fire to get into the area, considering the terrain there, the mountains. A very tricky fire to fight, even though the water pickup site is just yards away. I believe we do have Ryan Williams now overhead. Ryan, are you with us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Just talk about the progress. I mean, such a huge difference an hour can make.
Yes, really in the last hour, we aren't seeing that much of a thick smoke. If I really pan around, it's really hard for me to find thicker flames like we saw when we first got on scene. And really, we're seeing multiple helicopters. I've seen at least 4 different helicopters, LA County, LA City, even, yeah, just all over. So a lot being done to get this fire under control.
Yeah, we're showing a double box right now. We have a video on one side that shows your live picture, and then we have video from earlier, and you can see the staging area. You see the thick smoke. You can see some of the flames there, and we were really worried, right, about how close the flames and the smoke and everything was to these houses there. There are so many houses in this neighborhood.
Yes, you can see really this zone at the center of your screen. That's where the fire really. I don't want to.
Now
say
I didn't get
broke
told.
out,
I chose to stay
when we
home.
were on scene,
When I saw the fires.
This zone had already burned. So that was the zone that's been closest to the homes.
I made an executive decision.
That helicopter just above, really making sure that there's no other embers or anything coming up in this zone. We did see, I would say, about 20 minutes ago, right in this little mini canyon, there was a little bit of a flare-up. But we do have those crews on scene, making sure that especially this zone that is really, really close to some of these homes does not have a chance of reigniting. But the majority of the flames are really just kind of in this little backside of the hill here. And you can see that on the backside there is a lot more greenery, a lot more lush, a lot more fuel for that fire to be able to burn. And crews have been really trying to do a good effort to keep it from going on the other side of this ridge here and being able to pick up some of that fuel.
been doing such a good job, but they're clearly not out of the woods yet. These little tiny flare-ups are what can, cause an entire hillside, unfortunately, to go up. Ryan, as we stay with your shot here, for our viewers who are just joining us, this is an area that has the golf course, as Kathy was mentioning, the Castaway Restaurant. There's the Stowe Canyon Nature Center. I believe those are firefighters there at the middle of your screen. Hot shots trying to, build containment lines as we speak to try to put out those hot spots. But Ryan, for our viewers who are just joining us, talk about the proximity of where these choppers are actually able to go get the water, because it is just across the golf course from where this fire is burning.
Yes, that's right. So the Castaway Restaurant is at the center of your screen there, and in the middle of that restaurant. And the firefighting helicopters, they don't have far to be able to go and fill up. Right here, just about, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 football fields away from where the fire was burning earlier on, and just on the other side of that Castaway Restaurant is where those helicopters are able to both refuel. We heard that there was a refueling truck there earlier, and fill up with water. So they can just continue this onslaught on the fire in order to be able to stop it.
Yeah, they got really lucky with the proximity there. Obviously put there for a reason, and that site is right in front of the Starlight Bowl, which has canceled its shows for tonight. Keenan was with some people earlier who mentioned they had tickets to the show tonight at Starlight Bowl. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to go to that. Right now, I believe we do have Keenan Willard standing by. As we see another water drop here. Keenan, can we go to Keenan now? Hey, Keenan, you hear us okay?
Hey, I hear you now, guys. Yeah, like you said, that drop just happened there, and we can still see what appears to be a continuing all-hands effort in the hills right above Sunset Canyon Drive and into Wildwood Canyon there. And that involves those teams that are on the ground, specifically focusing their efforts on what was the line of flames that was closest to the neighborhoods here in Burbank. Those hills really just a few hundred feet above residential streets here like Harvard, like Grinnell, where we're standing right now. And what was a huge crowd of people who live on this street, some of them telling us that they've been here in Burbank for years in sort of the foothill areas here, and that they had never seen fire come so close that they were mentally preparing themselves to get the notice to evacuate. And instead, they really had the relief, some of them say, of being able to watch the forward progress of those flames get halted there, that line of fire get torn apart by firefighters on the ground and with the drops by helicopters. And now it's been reduced on that closest crest of the hill there, what was the most threatening area, to just a few hotspot pockets that are popping up in flames and quickly getting hit hard by teams on the ground and in the air. When we've been talking over the last half hour or so, I would say at this point, when we look from the ground, a lot of the concern that we still had was above higher into the hills up there, where we could still see what looked like thicker smoke, what looked like more firefighting activity. Flames were not visible from the ground here just because of our view being blocked by the hills, but that looked like where helicopters were focusing most of their efforts. And even there, it looks like some of the heavier smoke that still remained has largely started to dissipate, or is definitely not as dark in color. And that relief that we saw talking to people here on the street is just kind of continuing to be felt, to the point that where this was kind of just shoulder-to-shoulder crowds on streets like this, Grinnell, people standing in front of their homes and wondering if they were going to have to take off, it has now essentially looked more like a regular Saturday here. People have cleared off of the sidewalks. A lot of the ones talking to us were clearly relieved, talking about the fact that they did not have to evacuate, saying that they'd never experienced anything like that, but that they were glad firefighters were able to do their jobs. A lot of people talking about the fact that they were grateful for how still the air is here, that there is not a very strong wind that would have been able to push those flames even farther down, because we saw at their closest when we pulled up here, very black smoke, very dark, and a line of fire right on that hilltop, past the hilltop actually, down the crest there, and really establishing kind of a metaphorical low water mark, if you will, of threatening homes right above the rooftops when you look from this perspective. And that's what drew the concern from people living here. And now a lot of people moving on with their
Burbank,
day,
California.
hoping firefighters are going to be able to put out the last gasps, and really focusing their efforts not on that crest of that hill where we've talked about the kind of low water mark was, but more up into above Castaway, up higher above Wildwood Canyon, and going above the line of some of the crests of the hills that we can't even see from the ground here. That's how high up they are, and that's really taking place, that firefight, more from above. Those helicopters handling the drops are doing that at this point, but it's essentially, if you take a look behind us, panoramic, compared to where we showed up here over an hour ago and saw a line of flame very close to a park, very close to homes, and a sky full of thick, dark smoke. That is no longer the case here in Burbank, and that's the cause of relief for so many people living here who were wondering, is this the day that I finally have to pack my things in an instant and get out of here because these flames are going to be threatening my home? So that is not what we're seeing anymore. It looks like this effort is progressing on the ground and in the sky very well when it comes to the firefight. This was declared 3 alarm at first. We saw that in just how many agencies were thrown into this firefight. We saw units from Pasadena on the ground, Pasadena Fire, LA County Fire, obviously hitting it from above like we've seen with the helicopters, and of course with those teams that were active and have been continued to fight some of the hot spots there on the ground and have established their containment line. So when we take a big picture look over what this has transformed into over the last hour and a half,
buddy.
it went from a situation that was a huge
I want to be dead. I'd lose my house
speculating about
and everything in it.
evacuation to one where fire officials say there have been no evacuation orders given for neighborhoods here in Burbank. The sky clearing up rapidly, in large part due to drops like that. Even you can see how low they're targeting because some of the hot spots of the pockets of flames.
I would start streaming from my phone.
Fire was farther down the crest of the hill on the downslope towards these homes. So every reason in the world for some of these people out here to be very concerned when we got out here over an hour ago and saw the line of fire active, saw the smoke in the sky, but a very different scene here in Burbank, and one that has been really cause for a sigh of relief for a lot of people. You could see it on their faces, people smiling and like joking as they walked past us, but you know it was because of how concerned they were over what was about to happen here. And thankfully the conditions in the sky here with the wind, and thankfully the work of the firefighters.
I don't know who that guy is.
Anything when it comes to structure damage or any advancing fire at this point. We can say from the ground when we look back behind us that forward progress of that really the most threatening line has appeared to be stopped at the moment. And we're going to continue watching firefighters handle some of the hot spots and also see what we can from the ground when it comes to where the most continuing source of the smoke is, higher up over the hills where we can't really see from the ground. But at this point, looking much better night and day, honestly, from when we got out here over an hour ago. So we'll continue watching how this progresses, but we've seen a sigh of relief here in Burbank. Back to you.
Great to see blue skies where you are, and we can tell you from News Chopper 4, it's looking much better. It's dissipating, just as Keenan said. We also want to share some videos with you right now. These were submitted by our viewers. Thank you. They are coming in right now, and it shows the smoke. It shows the flames as this fire broke out today around 3:30 this afternoon.
It also shows how close they are to these neighborhoods and made a lot of people nervous. Right now, we want to bring in meteorologist Stephanie Elmo. She's been tracking the latest on conditions. And Stephanie, we talked about it earlier, but you mentioned on our phone call earlier, our editorial call, that there is a potential for fires. We're actually tracking 2 right now, one out in Piru as well, and unfortunately we're seeing them happen.
And it's because of this heat that we've been under for quite some time. We've been under heat alerts for many days at this point. They have been extended several times, now extended until tomorrow. And when we're talking about heat, of course, we've been talking about temperatures in the 90s and triple digits. It dries everything out, and some of that fuel.
Lou, I lived in California. It was always fire country.
It goes into this graphic here. When we talk about the ingredients, what's needed for a
fire.
Where
I used to live, I remember the hills catching fire.
You need that heat. And boy, do we have it. We've been talking about how hot temperatures have been. Again, any bit of moisture that some of the brush may have, well,
yeah,
I
have
the heat. We have lots of fuel out there.
It's,
and
again, Lou, that's why I didn't go camping.
Because
there's a fire 45 minutes away, and that was like
that oxygen allows the
too
flames
close,
to spread
right?
quickly. Now, when you remove an ingredient, it can help slow a fire. So the good thing is we're not dealing with a whole lot of wind. It's relatively light. As we go over and check out again, we have the Walnut Fire. This is burning right near the edge here. Castaway, that restaurant in Burbank that a lot of
it's a good idea to keep looking, keep an eye on it.
Sometimes frequent, and you could see the nice view of the valley. Castaway's right there. You have the golf club, and again, you have the residential areas here. So again, a lot of people on edge because of this, but it looks like fire crews are making significant progress. As you're looking on this side to me, where we're looking at the winds pretty calm, temperatures at the moment in the 90s and humidity values in the 20s.
I have like 3 escape routes I looked at.
Kathy, not dealing with much
wind. And one of the nice things is, like, with the 4-wheel drive, if needed, I can go around stuff.
All right, Stephanie, thanks so much. We have more breaking news in the Holzer fire. We'll have more on that when we come back.
Out there, I know you've had big concerns.
Yes, we're in that weather alert right now because unfortunately we've got another tough day ahead in terms of conditions.
Well, the cat can't be replaced, neither can she.
Where we've got red flag warnings in place right now.
I pick up both of them and then we get the hell out.
Lower Idaho Panhandle, northwestern Montana, and now northern Oregon too. Unfortunately, these are all places already plagued by fires tonight. We're tracking several across our entire community. I want to push in on some of those main ones though. Still tracking that Spokane area complex of fires, of course, in Spokane and Stevens counties. The Kaiser Canyon fire burning near the Colville Reservation and Nespelem, and then now the Three Queens fire near Ellensburg area too. And on top of it all, the Wells fire, the one that just broke out here that you first heard about here on Nonstop Local in the last hour or so, near the town of Malden, which unfortunately has nearly burned down before. So we take a look at just how dry things have been today. You'll notice very, very quiet skies on our satellite radar, and unfortunately on our future cast that pattern holds. No rain expected here overnight for the places that really, really need it. Not just dry weather out there, but also dry conditions, right? We've got relative humidity well into the danger zone for Spokane and Kootenai counties, as well as in Whitman County too, where that Wells fire burns tonight. We've got relative humidity in the teens there. So we turn our eyes a little bit further north, where we've got that Kaiser Canyon fire burning into
mine
the
covers
low teens for relative humidity and into the mid to upper teens there along the Cascades.
I mean, it covers everything for mandatory evacuation, but I know it also covers like looting.
Relative humidity to fall into the low
I asked if they cover up a body if I got rid of it. They didn't think it was funny.
Of those fires are burning tonight. We don't see that humidity come out of the danger zone until the early morning hours tomorrow, Sunday. So we're looking at dry weather overnight as a whole. In terms of wind gusts, right now we're seeing the breeziest weather in the Columbia Basin and along the Cascades, again where that Three Queens fire burns right now in Ellensburg. For those of us along the Palouse and in Spokane County, we're expecting wind gusts to peak in that 25 mile per hour range or lower, although the Palouse may see those wind gusts come up above 30 miles per hour. So certainly not what we want to see with that fire breaking out now just outside of Malden, Rosalia area. On top of it all, these new fires are coming at an already very, very smoky time for us. We've got air quality watches in place pretty much indefinitely here. We've seen them extended several times over the last 3 weeks now. And unhealthy air quality through Spokane County and now hazardous air quality onto the reservation. So we take a look at what we're expecting overnight.
Do I have to bury him?
We actually have a chance for our air quality to worsen as dense smoke starts to push over Spokane County and into the Palouse and the LC Valley as well. Also overnight, temperatures here falling into the low 60s, mid to upper 50s. Hazy conditions, of course, during that time too. 0% chance of rain. And as we get into tomorrow, temperatures rise back into the upper 80s for the metro area with more quiet skies to wrap up the weekend and start off the work week. Relative humidity tomorrow, Sunday, falling to just 12% for Spokane during the hottest time of the day, and then a return to the low teens in terms of relative humidity at that same time on Monday. As for wind gusts during this time, those kind of fluctuate over the next 72 hours. Breeziest conditions isolated to the Cascades and then to the Palouse as well. Two areas already seeing several wildfires tonight. Here's a look at that air quality in the coming days here. Reminder, unhealthy as we head into tomorrow. For the next 7 days here, your weather kind of fluctuates. That's your forecast.
Santa Monica Blockfest. This is.
I don't care about that. Care more about the fires. That's all I care. Yeah, it comes to the liability portion. Movie traps are like chess. Oh, let's see what's about to happen. Let's see what's going to go on here. You know, you heard that, what was it? There was a another win towards the ATF, like against the ATF, right? It might be very soon. You might be able to just go walk in and buy suppressors off the shelf. And if so, then, well, we're going to have to do a big dono day because I got a lot of stuff that needs suppressors. And you get a suppressor, and you get a suppressor, and you get a suppressor. Yeah, the ATF needs to go away. The ATF should have never existed. The ATF only does one thing, and it's oppress, Americans. Well, you know what they say. What's the difference between a grenade and a jar of nuts and bolts? I mean, you could turn a lot of things into a felony. Potato, oil filter, stuffed animal.
Copy. Heading to Whiteman to refuel.
Oh, no, they took it down. I mean, yes, you could turn a car into a felony very easily. Daryl Brooks did it and got multiple felonies. He was like the king of felonies for a minute. So I guess everybody has kind of given up on the Madison stuff, it looks like. All the big people are no longer out there.
And level 1 evacuations for the town of Rosalia. Malden is west of Rosalia, north of St. John in Whitman County. Whitman County Sheriff's Office says strong winds are driving this
suppressors
fire.
allow me to shoot in the back.
At this point, it is covering at least
kidding.
200 acres. We have new images coming in now of the thick black smoke billowing up. Now, you'll remember nearly 6 years ago, the devastating Babb Road fire wiped out nearly 80% of the same town of Malden, including City Hall, the fire station, the post office, and the library. Here are pictures that we are getting into the newsroom of this new Wells Fargo Road fire, Wells Road fire that did just break out today. We have a team on the way, and we will continue to give you updates.
Live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio, this is SWX Nonstop Local.
Don't care about your sports ball. I only care about what's going on with the weather. Not the weather, the fire. Yeah, that's pretty strange. I don't know why they would do that. No, there's barely any. I mean, there's Antifa out there, but like, it's not as bad. It's nowhere near as bad with the Antifa people as it was like a couple years ago. Now they're just little sects because a lot of them are getting like long prison sentences, and they're like, "Oh, it's no longer a fun game for us." Like, I look at most people that are, part of Antifa as them being mentally handicapped. Oh, that's not good. Especially shooting in the direction of somebody's house. Was it your house or somebody else's? Doesn't really matter. Still dick move, but like, yeah, man, I'm not cool with that. I might have shot back. Did you get your mom? Okay, mom's all safe. Good, excellent. I just read that. Yeah, like I looked around my house today, and I was like, all right, what can't be replaced? I kind of was like, the cat and the wife. And worst case, fuck everything else and just leave, right? Like, because as much as like there's probably like some collectible crap I have or whatever, right? Like all of our wedding photos are digitized. I got to worry about that. We have our wedding rings, it's whatever. Like, as long as we're safe and alive, everything can be replaced. I always have a bug out back
You
bats.
can send out 366 for info and clear.
Cure for the cow beer tomorrow. Viral video idea for me? What is it? If it's trying to duck my head into a water container head first, someone already did that and they drowned. But I'm all ears for those ideas. Those wonderful ideas. Or terrible ideas. Or ideas in general. I mean, like, there's shit I would miss, but whatever. Yeah, let me get right on. Let me go show myself making a felony. I'll get right on that.
Copy confirmed. Barbecue available.
My name's Wolf, and welcome to Jackass. No, I'll let somebody else go catch that felony. I'm good. Yes. It's currently burning away from us, which is good.
The specific time of death was not noted. It looks like fire requested law at 1636.
Yeah, it's highly illegal. That's a felony, yes.
To cover involving a Brandy Downey. There has been multiple priors with her and her husband Tom from this morning. He's now advising that she showed up at the RP's stepmother's house, trying to take the kids, making a scene after being told to leave, and is now hanging on the back of the RP's truck in the driveway.
TikTok is doing its part to bleach out the shell on the dream pool. Yes. Yeah, making your own suppressor and then showing yourself falls underneath, it depends on your state, about how many felonies you get. But it's possession of a licensed FFL item or some shit. I don't know. Something like that. What I want is like a big-ass fire safe I can stick in the garage. That'd be nice. Yeah, you need to go through the ATF for it, tax stamp, and something else. But all that stuff's very soon, I don't think it's going to be an issue if things go the way we're hoping.
Sheriff's office says there's very strong winds driving this fire. It's covering at least 200 acres. We know that the dispatches are going far and wide to get crews to the fire lines here. Crews are responding from Spokane, Pullman, and a number of area districts all throughout Whitman County there. Now, we want to show you some different video. Look at this. This is not today's fire. This is archival video from 6 years ago, from the year 2020. So no, this is not today. This is that devastating Babb Road fire that broke out nearly 6 years ago and wiped out, some reports say, nearly 80% of this same town of Malden, including the city hall, the fire station, the post office, the library, some 60 different homes. So
yeah, Josh, you saw that one too.
Pieces of video. This, again, is the destruction from 6 years ago from the Babb Road fire. So as you can imagine,
is that the Loomis fire?
Emotions and stress.
Oh, Bud fire, Hunter fire.
The town of Malden, as they did just experience a devastating fire.
Bug and Hunter fire, Josh. That's it.
Okay, my producers in the control room are giving me an update in my ear, saying that this new Wells Road fire today is now up to 600 acres. So
I guess you could do that, Colton.
Town of Malden under level 3, get out now evacuations. Rosalia under level 1, be aware of fire.
Again, folks, let's try to fill out that bar, or we're already halfway there.
Asking if you have
we're halfway there.
So that people can evacuate. Remember,
making money in my chair. I don't know if to rhyme with that.
There was such gridlock that people were.
I mean, yes, you could possess an oil filter, yes. But the minute you attach the oil filter to the gun, that's the issue.
And the crews that are coming in from Pullman, Spokane, and elsewhere can quickly get in there. We'll have more in just a bit.
Jackson and Biddle.
Ground runway 32, taxi Alpha.
No, see, that would worry me because you get the rich guy donating 100 subs and then they come back and take away the 100 subs. That's helping them a bunch. Apparently now, though, YouTube is stopping people from doing that because I guess a bunch of people were like screwing the system. No, I'm okay. But thank you, though. Well, then I guess Asmongold got banned off of, or a strike off of Twitch. For saying that if you're maybe I shouldn't say there, also I'll be banned on Twitch.
Truck 13, Priority 5, Traumatic Injury, La Clinica, Birch Grove Health Center at 910 South Central Avenue.
He said something mean against the invaders.
SkyWest 127 Tango, Medford Tower, runway 32, clear for takeoff. Jackson 1 departure, wind 350 at 11.
I'm also kind of fatigued with him though a little bit. Like he's been in the news a bunch, and I'm just like, well, news quote unquote, but I'm just like, I don't care, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Copy Windbird above Nelly.
Another unit for one.
Central Mercy 171.
Mercy 171.
Mercy 171 is code 1 to the call on Central.
Copy, you'll be at truck 13.
Former NBA first round pick Royce White declares for 2027 and the WNBA draft, saying he's now identified as transgender. Oh boy. I'm not much into sports, but
Getting you guys out all the way in there.
You know, it's weird. There's like a lot of news on Washington. There's not much news on Oregon. What's the news on Oregon I'm bringing up? And the scanner.
256 1-minute numbers. 256, 941-0075, Los Downey.
Spokane complex fires. Evacuation levels are staying the same for now. Officials say that this week you should expect them to stay for some time while firefighting efforts continue. We've got a look at the containment numbers for you as well here. The Autumn Lane fire is burning on more than 5,000 acres at 47% containment. Old Trails fire is covering more than 3,000 acres with 43% contained. And the Fairview fire is burning nearly 1,000 acres. It's at 31% containment. Incident commanders say so far they have counted 921 structures damaged or lost.
I don't need a lot of tannerite these days, but
on those figures. But as you can imagine, emotions
I go buy it when I need it.
when officials learned an arsonist likely started the Old Trails fire. Nonstop Local spoke with Washington State Commissioner of Public Lands, and here's part of that conversation.
It is horrifying to learn that this fire may have been intentionally started, and to learn that potentially dozens of fires might have been started by the same individual is even more horrifying. If it is proven that someone has intentionally started fires that endangered the lives of firefighters, destroyed homes, endangered people's lives, then that is an incredible betrayal of this community, and they need to be held accountable. And if it is proven that someone has started dozens of fires, let me be clear, that is the act of a monster, and our anger is a righteous anger.
It didn't happen already?
That we have people putting their lives on the line to help the people of Spokane, all because potentially someone did this intentionally, is a horrific scenario.
And State Commissioner Up the Grove said further, Spokane is supported and that no one is alone with our community uplifting each other.
I'm not going to be surprised if we get a bunch of these idiots out there being like...
Footage is revealing new insight on when officers first detained suspected arsonist Aaron Farinacci.
I want to see this. Hold on.
The 37-year-old now faces 5 counts of arson and a court-ordered mental health evaluation. Body camera footage shows witness Paul Child identifying the man he saw acting nervously near where the fire broke out as Aaron Farinacci. Now, officers also discussed the matches they found on Farinacci as probable cause to detain him.
Okay, I'll just add him and
He's got a whole... Is your camera on?
Yeah. We're talking about protocols.
He's got a whole fanny pack full of matches.
He asked us, was that him? And 100%. That's the individual we saw 5 to 10 minutes before this fire had started.
Okay. Court documents say Paul Child did identify Farinacci, and when Farinacci confessed, he detailed how he planned and started the Old Trails fire and also 4 additional fires in our area over the last year. Farinacci is due back in court in September for that mental capacity evaluation. Well, Shado Park High is now a disaster relief center. Fire victims can go there.
Him
and get
admitting
food,
probably has something to deal with it too.
Questions answered. Nonstop Local's Melinda Lee is with one of the insurance companies there.
Yes, and PIMCO Insurance is one of the many resources here right now at Shado Park High School while the school is acting as a disaster assistance center this weekend from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. So I'm joined now by Trent Stoker with PIMCO Insurance. And Trent, I'd love to hear, what are the questions you continue to receive from people seeking help after this disaster?
You bet. One of the big ones is, when can I go back to my home? Which obviously we're not the ones to make that decision. The county will need to let people know when it's safe. Safety is #1 priority. priority. We need to make sure people are taken care of and are safe. The second question is, what can my insurance do for me? What should I be thinking about? And so,
I mean, yes, his
people are
lawyer
looking
will
at
argue that
the different expenses they could have, such as living expenses while they're away from their home, or the cleanup cost, or if their home was, heaven forbid, burned to the ground.
But I wouldn't be surprised again if there's a lot of these crazy ass climate activists who are like, oh, we have to start these fires to block out the sun.
Coverages to clean or replace personal property like clothes or other things that were damaged, and then obviously the cost of repairing the structure. But again, each policy, each person's situation can be a little bit different, so important to connect with your insurance company and get the details about what they can do for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Trent, to your team and to everyone else out here and at home trying to help in these recovery efforts. Again, the Disaster Assistance Center is going to be open until 6 p.m. Saturday, and then again from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Reporting from Shadle Park High School, I'm Melinda Lee for Nonstop Local.
And coming up on Nonstop Local at 5, support is coming in from all across the state. We're speaking with organizers in Burbank, Washington, who are gathering donations at a local farmers market.
And we are in a nonstop local weather alert due to fire danger and poor air quality across our community. You and I will take a close look at the conditions fire crews face tonight and what we're expecting from smoke in the coming hours, too. That's after the break.
Waiting on the scanner to come back.
Makati Task Force Keene. Attack. Hey, let's run the same schedule as yesterday. Just make sure before you pull out, just coil our laterals up on the line. C13, same traffic.
Hey, scum.
One by name, DOB. Last of Justo, George, Ida, Union, Sam, Tom, Ocean. First of Daniel, common spelling, date of birth 11/21/85.
Thank you to all the firefighters. We got video of so many working around the clock, doing everything they can, where they can, to try to protect homes and knock these fires down.
Right now you're seeing breakfast and fuel for another laboring day on the fire lines. According to Incident Command there, nearly 2,000 personnel are working these fires. I mean, just thank you so much. This help is so needed. We've seen firefighters come from California, from all over the West. We actually had firefighters coming from my neck of the woods, California's Central Coast. That's like a 14-hour drive on the roads coming here at the time where it's just so needed. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And if anybody goes by the fairgrounds, it's just a sea of tents, and that's where they go and sleep.
Yes, and we're all feeling the air quality outside. It's tough to sleep outside in conditions like that and then get up bright and early in the morning and go out and work so hard on the fire lines. So, I mean, it's really, really appreciated.
Yeah, and so windy. windy out there. I know you've had big concerns.
Yes, we're in that weather alert right now because unfortunately we've got another tough day ahead in terms of conditions for our fire crews. Here's a peek at where we've got red flag warnings in place right now through eastern Washington, the lower Idaho Panhandle, northwestern Montana, and now northern Oregon too. Unfortunately, these are all places already plagued by fires tonight. We're tracking several across our entire community. I want to push in on some of those main ones though. Still tracking that Spokane area complex of fires, of course, in Spokane and Stevens counties. The Kaiser Canyon fire burning near the Colville Reservation and Nespelem.
Oh, like a little micro weather station?
Near Ellensburg area too. And on top of it all, the Wells fire, the one that just broke out here that you first heard about here on Nonstop Local in the last hour or so, near the town of Malden, which unfortunately has nearly burned down before. So we take a look at just how dry things have been today. You'll notice very, very quiet skies on our satellite radar. And unfortunately, on our future cast, that pattern holds. No
you get some nice ones for around $100
for the places that really, really need it. Not just dry weather out there, but also
45.
dry
And the more I keep
conditions,
looking, the cheaper
We've
it
got
keeps getting.
relative humidity well into the danger zone for Spokane and Kootenai counties, as well as in Whitman County too, where that Wells fire
Vavora has
burns
one.
tonight. We've got relative
They're somewhat
humidity
trustworthy.
in the teens
$85.
there. So we turn our eyes a little bit further
wonder if
north.
Ring
where
makes
we've
one.
got that Kaiser Canyon fire burning into the low teens for relative humidity and into the mid to upper
will
teens
do
there along the Cascades.
depending
where
how
we're
much
still
money you
tracking
want.
that Three
They'll
Queens
do
fire.
wind,
Overnight,
rain,
here
all kinds of
we're
shit.
looking for relative humidity to fall into the low teens for much of eastern Washington, including where many of those fires are burning tonight. We don't see that humidity come
I used to
out of the
get
danger zone
all the
until
IK
early
multimedia
morning
stuff for
hours
free, all the
tomorrow,
software. That was
Sunday.
nice.
So we're looking at dry weather overnight as a whole. In terms of wind gusts, right now we're seeing
Those
the
were the
weather in the Columbia
days.
Basin and along the Cascades, again where that Three Queens fire burns right now in Ellensburg. For those of us along the Palouse and in Spokane County, we're expecting wind gusts to peak in that 25 mile per hour range or lower, although the Palouse may see those wind gusts come up above 30 miles per hour.
Are you using for your
Certainly
PC
not
or your
what we want
phone?
to see with that fire breaking out now just outside of Malden, Roselia area. On top of it all, these new fires are coming at an already very, very smoky time for us. We've got air quality watches in place pretty much indefinitely here. We've seen them extended several times over the last 3 weeks.
You should be able to adjust the latency.
Unhealthy air quality through Spokane County and
actually,
now hazardous air quality onto the
go download
reservation.
ISO,
So take a look at what we're
ISO for
expecting
all.
overnight. You'll notice
That
we
usually
actually
also
have a
helps.
chance for our air quality to worsen as dense smoke starts to
Yeah,
push
Scott,
over
me and
Spokane
Colton are a little
County
worried
and
about
into,
if the wind changes.
Palouse and the LC Valley as well.
Then we get
Also
front row
overnight,
tickets to our own
temperatures here
barbecue.
falling into the low 60s, mid to upper 50s. Hazy conditions, of course, during that time too.
And neither him
0%
nor me
chance
are
of
looking
rain.
forward
And
to
as we
that.
get into tomorrow, temperatures rise back into the upper 80s for the metro area with more quiet skies to wrap up the weekend and start off the work week. Relative humidity tomorrow, Sunday, falling to just 12% for Spokane during the hottest time of the day, and then a return to the low teens in terms of
That's
relative
pretty cool. I like
humidity
that.
at that same time on Monday.
You
As
know,
for wind gusts during this time, those kind of
I could
fluctuate
drive my
over the next
happy ass to
72
some of the
hours.
fires,
Breeze
but
conditions,
I could drive my ass to some of these fires, but then I feel like a dick, right? Because like then I'm just kind of profiting off other people suffering, and I'm not okay with that.
D37 Alpha, contact. Yeah, traffic direct.
Copy.
15:45 this evening. We'll do a drive-by out there at the gate in front of staging across the office.
So, Radigascar, so if you get ASIO for all, that is a different Windows driver. Try running that through it and see if that helps you out with the issues.
I'll be out there by the gate in front of staging. Just kind of give you a wave and cross you off the list.
So the reason this one is it's more of a tool to help figure out what the hell's wrong with your latency, or you could use it all the time. I used to use it to fix latency issues a lot. Then I would go through and like update drivers. Sometimes you got to go even into your device manager and make sure that like you don't have something that the Windows even doesn't know what the hell it is. And then that's another way of doing it. Hello, Scumcat. Anyway, it's a pain in the ass, but once you get it figured out, you'll be like, oh, all right, here's how I do this. But I've had to do it with vocals, keyboard stuff, effects processing. You'll figure it out. It's not too difficult, but you'll figure it out. That's just one tool to help out.
Coming up, where we're at.
Like, I was so happy when a majority of like the interfaces these days that come out have a direct, so you can actually hear yourself back and not have to rely on going through the system. And then the other thing that will cause delay is anything running in the background too. Or if you have something else that's possibly taking up
covering at least 200 acres. We have new images.
Something else that's running on the same, like,
smoke billowing up. Now,
that's using like an audio driver, right? Just trying to process two at once.
Fire wiped out nearly 80% of the same town of Malden, including City Hall, the fire station, the post office, and the library. Here are pictures that we are getting into the newsroom of this new Wells Fargo Road fire. Wells Road fire that did just break out today. We have a team on the way, and we will continue to give you updates.
Live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX Nonstop Look.
I don't care about sports. I care about what is going on.
Wanting you to cover its first suicidal subject, third-hand info for a 17-year-old male who took a bunch of pills in an attempt to harm himself. It's the RP's daughter's boyfriend. They're going to be in the backyard. You're unaware that law's been called. Time delay is 10 minutes.
Copy. Can you start Mercy that way?
Turn around.
Between Leonard's Lane and the end of the street.
Daughter. Trying to get further on that.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want it to come south. Needs to go north and east.
I'm 51. They're not saying that the daughter's not on scene either. I don't know if anyone's with him. I don't know if the fight was verbal over the phone or not. Sounds like he might be there alone.
I think I'm more south than you. That's why I'm worried.
We're at IC from Casper's Training Bridges on TAC 3.
See, we don't want south. That's what I said. Have you tried virtual audio cable to fix that one, Gator? I'm not giving tech support, apparently. I will say new strings and crack setup does make a big difference. Oh, okay, I got the idea. I know, I have the general idea now.
Additionally, it looks like he's code 12 no X based off the scan.
I live in the I'm effing poor zone.
April. We'll be sending over there for.
Copy.
Actually, I live in a pretty nice area, but you know, it's not the it's definitely not the ghetto area, but it's definitely not the rich area. It's a nice middle area. Like my neighbors told me they even locked their doors. I was like, what the hell? Like, that's weird, man.
Phone number.
Copy.
Can you send me 478?
Hey, Bio.
The 19 for info, Mercy's delayed level 2.
Get a Schecter. Get a Schecter C4. That's what I got. Great sounding bass. Get him used for only 200 bucks.
2995, wind 34014.
Was good enough for me to use Torin. I mean,
Sector 4 and off of the DOC.
yeah, I would say there's a 20% part of the town where if it caught on fire, I think it would be a blessing to us. Well, until the meth lab blew up, and then that might be a little bit of an issue. But before that, it would be all right.
622 en route as well.
One suicidal subject, 809 Ammerman Drive.
46 Tom 1.
620, 46 Tom 1 for a suicidal subject at 809 Ammerman Drive. The info is via 988. The call taker is now speaking with male subject named Robert. States he cut his wrists.
Copy. 4622. You can attach for that, and I'll be primary.
Probably. I mean, Schecters are pretty popular.
This is that devastating Babb Road fire that broke out nearly 6 years ago and wiped out, some reports say, nearly 80% of this same town of Malden, including the city hall, the fire station, the post office, the library, some 60 different homes. So we are showing you two different pieces of video. This, again, is the destruction from 6 years ago from the Babb Road fire. So as you can imagine, emotions and stress is probably rising.
That news to me, the necks are too big.
Just experience a devastating
My
fire
hands are kind of small.
6 years ago. Okay, my producers in the control room are giving me an update in my ear saying that this new Wells Road fire today is now up to 600 acres. So again, the town of Malden,
I gotta look, like when I go for mine, I gotta look for smaller necks.
Evacuations, Rosalia under level 1. Be aware a fire is in the area. They are asking if you have no reason to be there, please get out of the area so that people can evacuate. Remember when the Spokane complex of fires broke out, there was such gridlock that people were struggling to be on the roads. Do stay away so the people who have to evacuate out of Malden can do so. And the crews that are coming in from Pullman, Spokane, and elsewhere can quickly get in there. We'll have more in just a bit.
His bedroom inside the location.
Are you guys hearing the scanner? Apparently some kid just slit his wrists. That's pretty bad. That's horrible.
Ammerman Drive, Phoenix, between Elm Street and Elm Street.
That's Medford.
Stop for Mercy 180.
Mercy 180.
We're responding to the diabetic problem from Howard Correction to Big Jack.
Copy your squad 13.
Let's just on Ashland.
4620, where are you coming from? On North Road, getting ready to turn on Elm.
1000, one available.
But not low enough where you can hear it bouncing off the fretboard.
I can just send by one on a call.
Ugh.
Units responding to Ammerman. Robert did confirm he is at 809.
620, copy. I'm almost out. Someone, can you see if you can come outside and meet us? Mile final for runway 32.
I don't know what we get in my area.
With launch, go ahead.
Oh, I know we get people driving into ditches a lot because they drive like ass.
36015. Straight in, clear to land 32, map 2.
590, last of more.
And I copied 843559.
Yeah, they said a kid over there might have slit his wrists.
5590, last of more.
At least that's what somebody called it in.
Clear ballot.
You know, I'm going to tell you right now, being a musician's a pain in the ass. I did it for a very long time, and, well, now I'm here, so I should say how things went.
Senior 991 Golf Tango, Medford ground runway 32, taxi Alpha.
As you can tell, I never made the big money. You know, that's not totally true. I made good money when I was doing audio engineering and technical directing. That made great money. Musician, not so much. But I met a guy who did, he wrote music for Disney. He did like jingles and stuff. And he's like, yeah, every once in a while I get like a, $15,000 check I forget about. I was like, you forget you did a job for $15,000? How much money are you freaking making, man? I think any of us that knew we had $15,000 floating around there, you'd be like, well, goddamn, it's great. Not like, oh yeah, I did that thing. That was nice. That was a good time. That was all right.
Right now, Nonstop Locals Rachel Turcott joins us live near the area of this fire. So, Rachel, what are you seeing?
Yes, Heidi. Well, right now I'm right off of Moreland Avenue, right in the city of Malden, just about a minute away from their town hall. And I'm going to step out of frame here that you can see my perspective looking east right now. You can see those trees that are on fire and those dark plumes of smoke that are just continuing to impact all surrounding areas. And we now know, Heidi, that this fire is burning 600 acres. And earlier, you can take a look at some of the video we got of helicopters dropping water on on all of the impacted areas. We have been seeing them come back and forth, pulling water from nearby creeks. And we have seen firefighters from Pullman, Spokane, and fire districts across Whitman County all fighting to fight the flames. And according to the Whitman County Sheriff's Office, the Wells Road fire is spreading directly towards the communities of Malden and Pine City as strong winds drive the fire's growth. And like you said, Heidi, the city of Malden is under those level 3 evacuations right now, with Rosalia being under those level 2, be prepared to leave evacuations. And it is extremely dry and windy here. When we were on our way to where we are right now, we could see those trees just burning. So if you are in the area and you're in those level 3 evacuations, fire crews advise you to just to avoid the area as they are still actively fighting the flames. Again, we know that this fire is at 600 acres right now, and we again have seen so many helicopters dropping water from nearby creeks, and it is just very hot and windy right now. So we'll continue to provide you those updates as we hear them here on Nonstop Local. Heidi?
All right, some very telling images live with you there. Thank you, Rachel. We'll get back to you in a bit. Right now, we want to bring in forecaster Rosemary Wright. Rosemary, we are hearing that there are reported power outages. Is that correct?
Yes, Heidi. We've got some people in the dark right now. We see power companies start to shut down some of that power to avoid excess fire danger. Right on a day like today,
lines are dropping
you just
too.
Heard it from Rachel. Hot, dry, and windy outside, and several active fires. We start to see some of those counties local to the fire having their lights go off. So Inland Power actually reports this number for Whitman County, more like 350 customers without their power right now. We'll continue to track in the coming hours here how that develops as crews are able to fight the flames a little bit more. Again, you heard it from Rachel, hot, dry, and windy outside as we are in a red flag warning for eastern Washington and the lower panhandle too. I really want to push in on that Wells Road fire, though, burning just near Malden and outside of Rosalia as well. Through this area right now, we've got temperatures in the upper 80s, 83 degrees for Spokane, so actually a little bit warmer down in Whitman County and drier too. Relative humidity there at 17% right now, so well into the danger zone. Unlikely to see it come up above 30%, a safer range until those early morning hours tomorrow. So we've got a dry overnight period ahead for this area. Additionally, we've got wind speed right now in the single digits, which is certainly helpful when those breezes start to come down a little bit. Wind gusts today could exceed that 25, even 30 mile per hour mark through Whitman County. Also looking for even more dry weather ahead. Quiet skies expected overnight. And of course, this new fire is coming during a time when we're already dealing with very, very hazy, smoky conditions over the region. So coming up here in your full forecast, we've got an air quality watch to talk about. You and I will take a close look at how we are expecting all of this smoke hanging out over the inland northwest to behave, Heidi. We'll also take a close look at how we're expecting those fire conditions to develop in the coming hours too.
Yeah, thank you, Rosemary. And we are checking evacuations and containment on the Spokane complex fires. Evacuation levels are really the same as they were yesterday, quite very similar. Officials say you should expect them to stay this way some time while firefighting efforts continue. We've got a look at that for you. And also now moving on to containment numbers. Autumn Lane fire is burning more than 5,000 acres, 47% containment. Old Trails fire burning more than 3,000 acres with 43% containment, and the Fairview fire is on nearly 1,000 acres and it's 31% contained. Incident commanders say that they have counted 921 buildings or homes damaged or lost so far, and we'll keep you updated on that. Now, in this firefight, Spokane's longest-serving firefighter has gone head-to-head with many of our major fires for 35 years, but still says this firefight is like no other.
As flames jumped the Spokane River, enough off-duty firefighters rushed to Station 8 to go out in a structure engine. Mike Moose Ramos was at the wheel, and he's seen it all.
I was around for the firestorm that we had in, I believe it was October of '91, and with the wind, kind of the same deal. The Medical Lake fire a couple years back, and that was catastrophic. Also losing that.
You could
many
get
homes.
$15,000 $1 donuts.
Lost quite a few homes, and that fire was spread out. This fire, once it got started and came across the river and hit that urban wildland interface where there were houses backed up to state parks and land, there's just not much we could do. And
that piecemeal crew saw their lieutenant suffer a concussion, and a new
Jesus.
firefighter helped save that group leader and a number of homes and more. Ramos has a hard time putting the determination he saw that day into words.
I can't explain. I've never seen anything like that. The guys that showed up that day are there for the citizens of this city. I saw a lot of pretty amazing feats, lots of guys going above and beyond, working beyond exhaustion.
And still on these fires, Shadle Park High School will reopen tomorrow as a disaster relief center. Those affected by the fires can get food, clothing, and ask questions all in one place. The American Red Cross is one company there helping our community recover.
As the incident progresses, we'll do some disaster assessment, provide them financial assistance, health assistance, mental health assistance, spiritual care if they need it, and we're here for the long term.
A volunteer, Catherine Westcott, says the Red Cross immediately provides sheltering and feeding for those impacted by fires. She says one way to help their efforts is by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS and making a financial donation. The Red Cross, insurance companies, and others will be at Shadle Park High from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, providing this disaster assistance. And the STA is offering free shuttle services to that disaster assistance center at Shadle. Shuttle runs every 30 minutes from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. through Sunday. Shuttles depart from the Spokane Convention Center and they pick up at the high school, and that will be at the bus stop there on Ash and Wellesley. STA is also reminding you their buses are still on standby in case any further evacuations are needed. We will have more breaking news coverage for you on that fire moving toward Malden right after the break.
Call to your screen.
Uh-oh. Hopefully that's not another fire that just started.
Callers, fires en route. Keep saying that his house is going up.
East to the northwest, block 39. Dispatch code red, units responding 231. Charge Landon 234. Couple cars on fire as well.
That's that code.
Cars on fire. 523. Headquarters.
Yeah, that does look like a building on fire over there. That's not good.
417 headquarters. 928. Headquarters. 221. 221, I-5 northbound 24. 224. 224 headquarters. Man, I'd like to add 2 additional brush units. One of units switch to TAC repeat.
There's going to be a brush fire behind Chuck E. Cheese, no house on fire.
Information, car pulled over the smoking engine. Car is off to the side of the freeway. 1. Word, code 3. Copy. Lodging on a POH. Can you let the security know? When I reduce. 120, I copy. Reduce everyone to code 1. Continue everyone except for Dozer and Tender. Break 417.
team copies direct, stand by headquarters.
928. 928 copies direct, stand by headquarters. 1812. Do you have any structures involved? Block east. 231, Sam's Creek and 234.
That copy. I'm going to commit to the freeway from Central Point. We've got 523, 224 running frontage roads, so like Blackwell, Lampman.
Yeah, copy that. And confirm we got, it's northbound milepost 42.
Yeah, affirm, northbound 42. Smoking vehicle pulled off to the side.
Yeah, copy that. And I believe it's 238 is just ahead of me. We'll just keep them en route.
Yeah, we got engines and the crew still running.
120, it's a relief crew, 138.
Yep, yeah, I'm copying.
From command, if you guys can just make that corner to your right there, we'll leave room to get another brush or an engine in there.
Is on a small white column going straight up.
Detection Medford copies, eyes on a small white column going straight up at 1813.
I don't know what that building is, but it looks like it's, if it is the building, look at it's going up pretty quick.
Engine 16, I'd like you to pull up. Do not block the access around the Bravo, but we're going to use your water and we're going to have you assist with fire attack on that Bravo side. Copy, fire attack, Bravo side.
Engine 12 is on the scene.
Engine 12, I'd like your brush truck to come in. They will access on Alpha Bravo as well and assist with fire attack.
Engine 12, copy.
Command Air, I need one unit on the Chuck E. Cheese side of the fence, the Jack and Box side of the fence.
Copy, Engine 15, I see you approaching. I'd like you to go around to the Chuck E. Cheese side and assist there. Copy.
They're trying to conquer the Chuck E. Cheese.
Battalion 2, Engine 16. Have the next rig come in between Jack in the Box and the Chinese food.
Engine 15 is going to be going on that side.
Battalion 2, Engine 16, be advised we have flame impingement upon several transformers on the ground.
Copy, we'll have PPNL expedite.
Question is, why did it catch fire?
From command, just want to make sure we are dealing with no buildings on fire.
Command, we are dealing with one structure. It's the outbuilding that is attached to towards the Bravo side of the hotel lobby, but we got a line on it.
All right, copy.
Yes, it's 45 minutes from me. It's closer to me than I would rather it not be, to be honest. And I'm just really hoping that the wind does not go southwest. Yeah, that building's on fire, number one. Lots of fires all around us. Fortunately, a little too close to comfort for me.
Command pair.
Oh, if that thing comes over here, a garden hose ain't gonna help me.
An engine to come onto the Charlie side of the hotel lobby, the Jack in the Box parking lot.
That's a Chuck E. Cheese. That's a hotel.
14 and brush 14. A couple minutes out. I can give them to you.
That's affirmative. I need brush 14 in the Jack in the Box parking lot. I need a circ saw to cut a fence. We do have the backside of the lobby structure going that the Alpha side crews aren't going to be able to get to.
Yeah, 10 miles too close to me. I don't like that. Donate now so I have money to rebuild. If the fire gets to me.
14 from pair. I'm going to guide you in.
Giggity.
14, copy. Graham, are you going to be able to grab it with those resources, or do we need an additional arm?
We'll get it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. It's the right fire. Or as I like to call it, the wrong fire.
Have a hydrant.
It's this one right here. This big son of a bitch. It was not this big earlier. It was actually smaller. So all the green stuff out there is level 1 ready. Yellow is level 2s. Level 2, level 2. Red is level 3. They evacuate immediately. So yeah. That's right, Flathead. That'd be some great views. Hi, everybody. Here's my house on fire.
Top down on this Charlie side flame problem. I'll still take 14 when they arrive.
Copy, you have knockdown.
That's affirmative. Knockdown, but we have access issues with the fence. Cutting it now.
Copy.
I agree. That would be absolutely terrible. Again, I'm just hoping that the fire goes north, and that would be great. Just keep going north. Don't go south or east. Keep going north.
Engine 12, command.
Go for engine 12.
Chuck, I'd like you inside New China, and I'd like a good assessment of if we got anything in there, and make sure we check the attic.
Copy. Engine 14, come to me.
Brush 14 on scene.
Right where they're working. You're going to take over for them.
South Moose River Road and Chicken Ranch Road near Colfax. This is
by those power lines. They were all exposed to fire.
Is that this Palouse River fire is burning some 2 miles east of Colfax. Now, near Malden, that Wells Road fire is forcing level 3 evacuations. Level 2 evacuations are now up for the town of Rosalia, which is south of Spokane. They were level 1 a short time ago. So the acreage on the Wells Road fire, I'm told, is now shot up to 800 acres. Nonstop Local's Rachel Turcotte is joining us now live near the area of the fire, and we can hear the helicopters above you, Rachel.
Yes, Heidi, that's right. We have seen multiple helicopters dropping water on this fire, getting water from a nearby creek. And I'm going to step out of frame here where you can see my direction looking east right off of Moreland Avenue, right in the town of Malden. About 5 minutes ago, Heidi, I showed you one of the trees here that was up in flames, but now you can see that tree is completely gone and those dark plumes of smoke surrounding the impacted areas. And like you said, Heidi, this fire is now at 800 acres, and the city of Malden is in those level 3 go now evacuations, with the city of Rosalia in those be prepared to be ready go now evacuations. And we have seen firefighters from Pullman, Spokane, and fire districts across Whitman County. In fact, I even just saw a fire crew from Lincoln County as they are all working to fight the flames, and this fire is spreading directly towards the communities of Malden and Pine City as strong winds drive the fire's growth. And you can see that helicopter that is flying over the impacted area right now, dropping water to try and alleviate some of those flames. And about 80% of the town of Malden's homes were lost due to that Bab Robe fire that occurred in 2020. Heidi, you mentioned that earlier. So fire crews are just advising you to stay out of the area if you're in that level 3 evacuation zone, and we'll continue to provide you more updates on acreage and containment as we receive them. Reporting live in Spokane, I'm Rachel Turcotte, Nonstop Local.
All right, Rachel, thank you for going live there near Malden. We'll continue to check back with you, and we'll have more after the break.
Do 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 do. I think they got that building under control, hopefully. Well, that's just steam coming off now and not smoke.
Command Instructor Team. Go ahead. Just reported a second start behind the adult bookstore. I copy. Are there any of our brushes available? I will take a look. Brush 12 is available. Alright, Brush 12, get yourself freed up. Get yourself over behind the bookstore. Let's see what we got.
That was the problem. Somebody was wanking too hard.
Copy. Nelson Champagne, come back to brush. Battalion 3, command. Battalion 3. Brian, we got report of another start behind the adult bookstore. Could you please get over there and check it out?
Pulling up right now. We got a little bit of smoke coming from the blackberries. Handle it with the rush unit if we get one over here right now.
Alright, copy.
Command from Bear. I have engine 14 and brush 14 relocating to the second start with that 3.
Copy.
Brush 14 from that 3. Go and pull up to my location. Should be able to get it with the hose line from here. Command Brush 12, do you want us to still relocate over there or stay in place?
Standby 1. Battalion 3 from command. Are you going to be able to handle with engine 14 and brush 14? They're en route right now.
That's affirmative.
Engine 12, you can stay, or brush 12, you can stay your location.
Brush 12 coming. Yeah, I just have them come to my location right in front of my unit. Brush 14, you copy that?
14, engine 14, on your way.
Engine 14, I want the brush backed in right here at my location. Park out of the way.
Brush 12 from command.
Go over Brush 12.
We've got reports of smoke coming from the irrigation canal across the street at the Easy Market. I'd like you guys to investigate that.
Copy, across the street, Easy Market. Can you specify that location a little more?
Negative, that's what I got from dispatch.
Command, Battalion 3.
Go ahead.
We're getting some smoke traveling from the storm drains.
From the storm drain?
Over here, I think that's all it is drift smoke. We've got a TI on it. We'll confirm it for sure, but I think that's all we got. So just be advised, smoke coming out of the storm drain.
Alright, copy. That was the report we were getting. Thank you.
The Q and gloves. Go ahead. Did I copy that you checked the attic space above the Chinese restaurant? I checked it. It looked
I think I have enough in my truck to get me like 580 miles. So I think I'll be okay.
Command engine 15.
I mean, no, I don't. Please donate. Yes, yes.
We're between Chuck E. Cheese and the canal. We are out of water. We're too far from any hydrant.
Yeah, but David Hogg's an idiot.
We'll break you down and let's get you filled up.
Oh, was that from you, Colton, just now? Yeah, thanks, buddy. That'll fill the rest of my tank for sure. That's the other reason I did all the, me and my brother did all the, maintenance to it is it's getting like 16 to 17 miles per gallon. So that's kind of low. It should be getting closer to 20. I think one of the cylinders is misfiring, so.
Command, Battalion 3.
Thank you, Colin Burke, for the amazing
Carlton Burke 2637 has just tipped $50 for the gas.
Thanks, brother. Then Colton's going to be like, all right, now you got to tow a trailer for me, though. Which I would.
14, brush 14. Why don't you guys grab a hydrant, get yourself filled up, and make yourself available.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, if the worst comes to worst, I'm just going to throw the cat in the truck and the wife. So Yuffie will be in there. Cat will be in there, of course. And I just head south over to my folks. That's my oh shit strategy. Could you fill your tank with $20 worth of Taco Bell? I think I could put it in the truck and it will never run again. Feel like my truck would feel like I abused it at that point.
Command, pair. Command from pair.
Go ahead.
When engine 14 and brush 14 are restored, are we releasing them or staging them?
Well, we're not going to release anybody yet till we make sure we got a handle on all the work, but we're just having crews get restored.
Should be straight gas. If you have to and you're driving through the fire, make sure you film. Yeah, I would say that's kind of a needed. I feel like if I didn't, you guys would be disappointed. What? You almost killed yourself during the film, you bastard. Trucks prefer Wendy's chili. You know, I wonder, well, that airport near us, used to be a regional airport.
Battalion 3, command.
Pulling up to your location.
I'm going to send you over to the market at Stewart and Central. Report of another smoke. I'll get you a brush rig heading that way as well.
Copy, Stewart and Central.
They're saying next to Providence, sir.
I copy.
But so yeah, the airport that's near us, that airport actually will take,
Brush 12, command.
big old planes.
Go.
Did you copy that last traffic?
Copy a brush fire over by Providence on Stewart.
Report of smoke. Yep, Battalion 3's heading that way. I'd like you to go with them.
Copy, brush 2's heading that way.
But yeah, I was doing some research and I was like, oh my God, this airport is actually a regional flight. Plus it's a military base now. So, I mean, there's a good chance of evacuations to happen. They would do it from there.
Charlie Division.
cleaner, copy. I'm going to walk the circ saw back.
But again, if we need to be evacuated from there, it's going to be easy. Hit that like button, folks, if you haven't already done it. I might get off soon because, again, I was planning on not being on today. Right. The fires were pretty bad. I kind of wanted to report on them and let everyone know what's going on. Hey,
Ahab DeCapin has just tipped
Thanks,
$10.
brother.
Get a bucket of iced tea, in case you have to get on your roof and pee on the fire to save your home.
What are you doing? I'm going to go on top of the roof and take a leak. But I will say right now, the thing that was really depressing is like, we have a lot of people, coming in with like cattle and pigs and horses that are staging over here at the emergency shelter.
This is going to be smoke again coming out of the canal.
Yeah, I was going to say that airport might be good, even if you could get like on somebody's Cessna and got the hell out of there, right? Like, but I would say that's a good, that's probably one of the better areas. But yeah, seeing everybody's like livestock because they had to evacuate and they got nowhere else to go. And I know there was like locals offering up their pickup trucks to move people. Ahab, thank you very much for 20, brother. Or the 10. Getting tired. Well, I mean, like, because it affects all of us right now in this area. I know, like, other people are covering, I don't know, Iran shit. I don't know. I don't know what anybody else is currently covering, to be perfectly honest. I'm just like, I wanted to hop on here, let everyone knows what's up, and if I have to go on the road, y'all know why. So hopefully, I think the wind's going north right now, northeast. That's fine, as long as it doesn't go south. As long as it keeps going up, that should be okay. Yeah, if you're standing in the middle of the runway, well, in theory, I guess that would be good. But you know, if it's too hot around you, I guess you just cook like an oven. Well, again, they're starting to find out a bunch of them are arson. Which is, you know... Yeah, well, we all know how I feel about the punishment meets the crime. Yeah, it's a very small county. That's the nice thing. But the bad thing is, like I said, it's the other counties, I think, that evacuated down here, too. So. All right, folks, I'm going to call it a early show tonight. I'm going to go spend some time with Yuffie, and she's not feeling too good right now. So, she's got like some weird vertigo going on. So I guess what's going on with her. You have a good one, everybody. If anything super crazy comes, I'll jump on. Right, they'll be on later. So you guys have something to watch, but And now I got the Citizen app on here through BlueStack, so we can pull up stuff there too. Wind still southeast. You know, I keep hoping, Colton, it's going the other way. I appreciate that, Rodney. Again, if you guys are members, you can come in the Discord and chat. There's people in there always chatting about this and that. So you have a good night, everyone, and take it easy. Please be safe, especially if you're near the fires. And I'm going to try to be safe too. Maybe I'll pack some shit up just in case. Sounds like a good idea. Thank you. Yeah, just tell me it's going north so I don't have to worry as much. I can unfortunately see where it's coming and it scares the crap out of me. But you have a good one, everybody. Take it easy. Have a very fantastic, safe night. And I might be on later. We'll see. Darlene, thank you very much. Kaltenberg and Ahab the Captain, thank you very much. You guys will also donate with them off. That would be absolutely positively wonderful if I need to buy gas or a hotel or a tire. That would be good. Don't think I need tires, but you never know. The rest of you have a very good and fantastic rest of your night tonight. Goodbye. And thank you, good sir. Thank all of you.